Yeah. All right. What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. It's Untethered Live's Politi-tics right here on Saturday night. Come on in. Take your shoes off. Let's talk a little politics. How are things going in your world? Did you see the Joe Rogan, Donald Trump extravaganza last night? It was quite fantastic on the Joe Rogan Experience. It was very humanizing, and in my opinion, I think it probably sealed the deal. What do you think? Amanda says, hi, chat. Good to see you all. I hope everybody had a good Saturday. Hi, Jake. How are you tonight? Rogan and Trump was definitely a great interview. Go Trump. Amen. And Amanda says, by the way, like, subscribe, share, support, join. The super chats are available in the chat box if you want to show a little love. I do appreciate that. Also, hit that CashApp. That's $JakeJohnsonBand. Or if you're a PayPal user, paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Thank you very much. Amanda says, woohoo, let's get it on. The man of the night. And John H. is here. He says, hi, everybody. John, you get the gold star for being first in the chat. Here's your gold star. Amanda says, hi, John. How are you? What's going on out there? Did you go vote yet? If you didn't, why not? When are you going to go vote? Because you've got less than 10 days left. Come on. You got to do your duty. Who'd you vote for? Triple X? Jaden Ply Triple X? Welcome to the show. It doesn't matter who you voted for. What matters is that you voted. And if it isn't obvious, I can't believe you would even ask a question like that because, you know, you never, ever, ever make things political. You don't ever deliver to an audience of random people who you might vote for because, you know, it's a strange thing to do. This is all about entertainment, you see. Amanda says, hi, Jaden, welcome. And Jaden says, thank you. And so you voted for Trump? Well, of course I did. Don't be ridiculous. I don't want the world to go to hell in a handbasket. Who did you vote for? Jaden says, true. Very true. It's pretty scary out there. It's a bad place to be. It's a bad time in the world. Well, sir, I'm underage. Well, underage with 2 triple X's in your name is a little strange. I'll go with it, though. But, you know, you will be of age at some point, and I would encourage you, you're welcome to stay here and listen to the conversation, but I would encourage you to look at policies and not news stations, because news stations, both sides, like to spin the other side to the evilest thing they can come up with, and that's just not reality. That's not the world you actually live in. So if you live in a bubble and people are constantly telling you should vote for the blue guy or the red guy, and all you ever hear is what's on CNN or MSNBC, you are not getting the truth of what's going on in the world, and you should probably look at that. And so that's why people like me exist, to make light of them on the media, because they're 2 decades past their prime, and to tell people like you who are looking for some semblance of reality to grasp onto with trembling hands as the world breaks around you, there is a reality, and the reality is we live in America, and if you lower the shields, there will be no more America. We need borders, we need tariffs, we need a strong military, and we need people who make decisions who are based on the people that live in America. If you have that, you have a country. If you don't have that, you don't have a country. I don't care what your feelings are. I feel for all the people around the world. But quite frankly, it's not my problem. I didn't cause it. I'm not responsible for it. And I certainly can't fix it. But I can worry about what's happening in my backyard. And that's what I try to do. And I hope you understand that. Amanda says, Trump train. And Jaden says, yes, I've noticed about that. I've noticed that about the media. Yeah, it's harsh. Maureen Flood says, hi, Jake. And I think I'm here. LOL, Amanda. Well, I hope you're here, because if not, who am I talking to? That would be strange. And Amanda says, we need God back. That also. So I seen you're a Christian, among other things. Pardon me. Patty, she says, the left sent Rogan to welcome Trump home and start talks. I don't know what you mean by that, but I like it. You mean the podcast that happened last night? If so, yeah, that's pretty cool. Amanda says, hi, Patty. Yes, Jaden, I am a Christian, but I'm also not your judge. So whatever you're into, that's up to you. The only thing I ask is that while you're here, be respectful and carry on a good conversation. I'd like to get to know you. I don't care what you do. You're Christian too? Excellent. Oh, that's fantastic. We do Bible studies on Sunday and Monday nights on this channel. If you want to join or subscribe, you come. Be more than welcome to come listen to us talk about the Bible in a non-religious way, in a academic way. We break it down and see what's in there, see what it means. Because there's only two truths. Either there's a God and he created this place and we're all part of his creation, or nothing happened and it all burst into existence spontaneously. Well, if nothing happened and it burst into existence and spontaneously, then when you die, you will return to nothing and nothing will happen. Which is pretty magical if you ask me, because you're merging back with your creator. Either way you look at it, but I digress. But if there is a God and he created all of this and you're wrong, that's a different story. So it's Pascal's wager, actually. It's smarter to take the path of least resistance and go with God, because the alternative is nothing. What good would that do? Anybody? Jaden says, okay, I'll join you. Please do. And Amanda says, great, Jaden. I said Jordan, I meant Jaden. We'd love to have you with us. And Linda Davis says, hi, Jake, Amanda, Patty, Maureen. Hey, Linda, how are you, sweetheart? Amanda says, hi, Linda. And Patty says, hi, Linda. So anyway, as I was saying, Joe Rogan finally relented and allowed or invited Donald Trump to his podcast last night, and they talked for 3 hours. And it was a very good, very informative, and mostly funny interview. And I think, considering that was last night while I was on the air, so about 8:30, 9 o'clock, somewhere around there, is when he posted that video. Tonight, there's over 20 million views. That's 24 hours, 20 million views. That's ridiculous. I think that just sealed the deal for old Trumpster. My guess. You know, Kamala Harris was also invited to be on that show, and she's turned him down. Probably because she knows she can't talk for 3 hours without tripping over her own teeth. Maureen says, Amanda, God hasn't gone anywhere. We, the people, need to turn back to him. That's the only thing that will save this country and her people. I agree. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, we don't need God back. We need to turn back to God. He's already here. Now, what you can argue till the cows come home about what God is or who God is or which God. I'm not interested in that. I don't care, because I don't know, and there's no way I could find out. I choose to believe that the oldest document we have in existence is the right one, and I follow it. But that's my choice. I choose to believe that the Bible is the real thing. I know there is some form of creator. There's a difference. I choose to believe what I believe. I know I didn't come from nothing. I can tell. I can feel it. So there you go. Braden Cook, welcome to the show. He says, I don't think I'll ever be able to afford to save for any kind of retirement, and I'm only 26. Well, Braden, that is both true and not true. I'll tell you how it's true, and I'll tell you how it's not true. You're only 26. You got a whole life ahead of you. You got all the energy in the world. I would give everything I had to have your energy, period. Because what I could do with it, with the knowledge that's in my head. So, you're right. The economy sucks, and there is no American dream for your generation. You will not get a retirement. You will not get a pension. You will not be able to buy a home. But this is America. And regardless of who's in charge currently, it will always be America. And as long as it is America, you can innovate. You're a smart guy. I believe that. Or girl. I think guy. I'm going with guy. Braden sounds like a dude's name. Anyway, get up. Get up. And go outside. And look around. And find a problem. And solve it. And you will then be valuable. And then you can use a little common sense to trade on that value and make yourself a living where you can afford those things. The only way is to innovate. You can't go get a job and expect to make the money to do what you need to do. You need to create the job. That's the world we live in today. So you have to be smarter than the average bear. You have to educate yourself on the things you're passionate about. Find something that you love and do that, regardless of what anybody says about it. If you love it, you'll never work a day in your life, and you'll give all of your time to it. That's how you do that. Get up, go outside. You'll never find it sitting at your computer. You'll never find it in your bedroom. You'll never find it inside the house. You need to go out into the world and meet people, talk to people, network. Ask questions, look around, be interested, be willing to show up and work, and you'll make it. I promise you that. Amanda says, hi, Braden, welcome. Maureen says, that's what I thought I said. Sorry, brain's not working so good because this country, the United States of America, is not a democracy. It is a constitutional republic. Check your constitution. That's right, Maureen, you got it. In fact, anybody that uses that phrase, democracy, democracy, our democracy's on the ballot, we need to save our democracy, they're all traitors. Every one of them. Anybody that uses that phrase is a traitor because we don't live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic. Just recite the Pledge of Allegiance to yourself and you'll hear it. It's in there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, that's this place, and to the republic for which it stands. Which what stands? The flag of the United States of America. Pretty simple stuff. Maureen says, so my last comment is 2 and 1, LOL. I got you. I'm with you. Amanda says, absolutely, Maureen. And Maureen says, I liked and I shared. Yes, please do hit that like button. There's 17 people in chat and only 9 likes. That math don't math. Come on now. Am I not working hard enough for you? 5 nights a week? Give me a break. You're going to give me a break because I'm taking next week off, just so you know. Not because I'm tired, but because I have things I got to do. Where's Amy? I don't know. I hadn't seen her tonight. Should be here soon. Amanda says she'll probably be here soon. I've got 2 cigarettes left, and I'm smoking one of them. Delicious. Maureen says, oh, good. I thought she said she'd be here. She'll be here. She usually is. She usually comes in about halfway through. She's probably working on that other podcast she is a moderator for. Anyway, Jaden and what are those names? Jaden. Was it Braden? What was the other name? Is it gone? Where'd it go? Yeah, Jaden and Braden. Nice names, by the way. What do you guys think about the world you live in? You're younger. Tell me about the world from your perspective and what's going on in your lives. And tell me about the problems you're having. Rachel Floyd says, hello. Because I'd like to get to the bottom of that. I wish to see all young people have a future. And it ain't looking so good right now. And Braden, you're old enough to vote, so go out and vote. Help yourself. Go vote Trump. Help yourself. Matter of fact, just go R all the way down the ticket, and if it's a D, just skip over it. That's what I did. I'm not telling you how to vote. You do your thing, but if you want things to go in that direction, that's how you got to do it. Right now. It wasn't that way 20 years ago. It's that way right now. Rachel says, hello. I think I read that one. And Amanda says, missed. LOL, Rachel. I couldn't resist that one. Inside joke? I think it might be. Yes, I'm wearing pink, and I'm completely all right with that. It's a pink kind of day. Although I've got a tag that's making my back itch. I don't like those. But I've learned to not rip them out because then I can't tell which way to put the shirt on. Pink totally looks good on you. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Some pinks do. This one does, I think. Might wash me out a little bit in the lights. Rachel says, ha ha ha, that was funny, Amanda. Won't care to let us in on the joke? Amanda says, you're manly enough to pull it off. That's right. Don't you ever forget it. My mustache will take care of the rest. What's that you say? A mustache is indicative of something else? Not when it comes to me. Amanda says, I thought you would like that, Rachel. The rest of us don't know what you're talking about, though. Rachel says, yep, that was cute and funny. Must be a meme. Meme Lord Mandy over there. There's Amy. Hey, Amy, how are you? She says, I've been fighting to keep an internet connection. Hello, y'all. Thumbs up and shared. Thank you very much, and thank you very much. 16 people in chat, 9 likes, no super chats. Imagine that. It's okay. I don't blame you. It's a rough world out there. Amanda says, it was a meme. It was 2 dogs sitting together, and one tried to catch the fog yesterday, and the other one said, please no. And the first one says, missed. Missed the fog? Got it. Ha ha ha. Axel Nasty, 3 hours, and Rogan didn't ask Trump about Epstein once. Well, there's probably a good reason for that, Axel, because Trump had nothing to do with Epstein. If you read your history, you'll learn that in the early days when Trump was coming up, he did catch a ride on that plane a couple of times. And because Epstein was a millionaire, they were rubbing shoulders. But when Trump invited Epstein to Mar-a-Lago for a party, as he got to know the guy and realized that he was a creep, he then kicked him out of the party and had nothing else to do with him ever. Trump isn't involved with Epstein. Wrong kind of people. But I appreciate where you're coming from. And I think there's probably more important things going on in the world than who Epstein knows. I mean, we're about to lose our country. So I would imagine probably talking about his ideas on tariffs would be a better time spent. But, you know. Thank you, Rachel, for the $4.99 super chat. God bless you, sweetie. She says, these be hitting good lately. You need to share some of those. Amanda says, hi, Axel, and hi, Amy. Maureen says, hey, Amy, I just made hot tea with honey. Nice. That sounds good. I got a nice hot cup of coffee right here. Don't you want to have a cup of coffee with me and talk about politics? If so, go to the kitchen, pour yourself up a nice hot cup, and let's get this conversation going. If you don't have a cup, you can get one in the description below. I recommend the second one because the first one's not there right now for some reason. Also, like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available in the chat box. Thank you very much. Axel Nasty says, they're accusing him on the front page of MSM this week. He couldn't even ask. Well, of course they are. MSM, mainstream media. Think about what you're saying. Amanda's been a member for 7 months now. She says, I love being here with all of y'all. And Jake, I look forward to the podcast every week. Much love. Thank you very much, Amanda, and welcome to being a 7-month member. You got your 7-month chip. Look at you go. You done changed colors on us again. By the way, if you'd like to become a member, you can hit that join button over there and support this channel and all that it's endeavored to do, and you can be part of it. Being a member is a special thing. You get to know things that you don't get to see in this format because it's secret stuff. And Amanda says, thanks, Rachel. Woohoo. And Rachel says, yeah, of course. Flowers and pills. Callan says, why some U.S. presidents were Freemasons. Your thoughts on that? Well, I am a Freemason, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. Because in the old days, years and years ago, it actually meant something to be a Freemason. It was a way of becoming part of the inner circle, getting to know the people that are actually in power and rubbing shoulders with those people and being invited to those kind of parties. And so only 13 U.S. presidents were Freemasons. Only 13. Not the popular belief that all of them are. They're not. But that's why. It doesn't actually mean that anymore, unfortunately. And now the Freemasons is basically just an old gentleman's club, and they bicker over whether or not to have ham or turkey sandwiches for meetings. But in the old days, it was part of the power structure of the world. And that's why a lot of them became Freemasons. Also, kings and world leaders and high-profile people have been Masons also. All of which have walked in the same paths and said the same words and did the same things and wore the same things and were part of the same society. And that's how you know. And Amanda says, hi, Callan Ho, welcome. Maureen says, well, if MSM says it, then I know the truth. I know it's the truth. And that's not what she said. She says if MSM says it, then the truth is the exact opposite of that. Exactly. Axel says, a woman was accusing President Trump of molesting her in front of Epstein. And Rogan was obsessed with Epstein murder. I can't believe he didn't even mention it. Well, people have accused Trump of a lot of things because Trump is a millionaire, probably a billionaire. And when you got that much money, you're a target. But just because somebody accuses you of something doesn't mean that it's true. They also accused him of being a Russian plant and many, many other things, none of which were true. Oh, we got another $4.99 super chat from good old Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. God bless you, honey. And she says, more pills. I forgot how good they were. You deserve it, Jake. Well, thank you, ma'am. Yep, I've been off the pills for quite a while now. Not by choice. That's just the way the world works. Can't do something forever. Amy says, it's normal for rich people to rent out their jets to one another. That's true. William White, welcome to the show. He says, did he stop because he did not like him after he found out? Or because he was afraid of being associated with him, but still knew what he was up to? Well, William, think about it for a minute. That was in the 80s, and he threw him out of Mar-a-Lago and never had anything else to do with him once he figured out what he was up to, because he apparently was hitting on some people that were of younger stature at Mar-a-Lago, and Trump didn't put up with that. It didn't become a problem until the late 2000s, like 2015. Somewhere in that area, 16, 17, somewhere around there. So he wasn't afraid of him by any stretch of the imagination, because back then, nobody looked at that as a problem. In fact, Epstein got caught trafficking young people, and they let him go. And they did not pursue a indictment on him. So he thought he was getting away with it right up until the very end. And so did everybody else, i.e. P. Diddy, who is now in trouble for similar things. Interestingly enough, Beyonce was just at a Kamala Harris rally, who is deeply tied in with Puff Daddy, as it were, P. Diddy, however you want to call him. My guess is they're showing up because they were on a tape somewhere. Maureen says, hang on. Maureen says, I wish I had the finances to join. Well, it's only $4.99 a month if you join the big leagues, and if you join the little leagues, it's only $1.99 a month. It's up to you, though. I would welcome you. Amanda says, hi, William, welcome. And Amanda says, you just being here is enough. Thanks, Maureen. And that's also true. This is a free show. You're not required to join. You only do so if you wish to help me grow. That's entirely up to you, and I'm not dunning you for it. And I'll never make you feel bad about not doing it. And I will never ignore you because you haven't done it. So you don't have to worry about that. This is the buddy system. If you like what I do and you want the world to see it, then we need to get bigger. The only way we can get bigger is with a hefty membership. And the only way that works is if people join. If you want to join and help out, so be it. If you don't, I'll stay right here with the three of us. 19 of us. My success is entirely in your hands. And Maureen says, I missed your concert last night because of my asthma and bronchitis. But I had bought the insurance and I am getting a refund. Yay! I missed a concert last night. Oh, what concert? Who were you going to see? Callan Ho says, thank you, brother. Thank you. And please, please make your life your own. You have control of that. That's your ship. You can sail it across the 7 seas, or you can turn it and drive that sucker right into the rocks. Either way, God will let you do it. It's your job. You're the one in charge. If you listen to the nonsense and you drink the Kool-Aid, there is other Kool-Aid, by the way. You can drink this Kool-Aid. But if you drink that Kool-Aid, then you'll live that life, and you'll be a victim because that's what they're selling. Now, as a young person, I would like for you to consider that you are being sold, right? If you can consider that, if you can grasp that concept that everything in life is trying to sell you on something. Nobody likes you because you're there. They're all trying to get something from you. That's the nature of the world we live in. Every one of them, even your own mother, will exploit you to get the dishes done or the trash out or something like that. If you consider the fact that you're being sold, then you can consider the fact, well, it's my decision as to what I buy. Pay attention to what you're being sold. If you want to be a victim, by all means, go listen to those people. If you want to be a leader, you come listen to old Jake. I'll put you on the right path. Amy says, Taylor Swift took a 43-second plane trip to her house. 43 seconds? How is that even possible? I don't think you can get a plane in the air in 43 seconds. That's crazy. And Amanda says, woohoo, thank you, Rachel. You are so funny. And Rachel says, ha, 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 pill, pill, pill. And Amanda says, Taylor Swift is an idiot and should not be listened to for political opinion or any actor for that reason. Amy says, digging up gold. Yep. Axel says, it feels like all media, not just the left, are slow walking another Trump loss with polls and coverage, possibly to soften the blow with the more avid supporters. It's worrying. You have no need to worry. As of today, Trump is leading in aggregate in all the polls, whether they're left biased or not, and he's winning in the popular vote as well. And he's up in all the battleground states, so he's winning the Electoral College as well. If he continues this path for 10 more days, he'll win the he'll win the Senate, he'll win the House, and he'll win the presidency. And if he does all three, it's easy street for President Trump. By the way, if you guys haven't been by to visit our Facebook page, go to facebook.com/UntetheredLive. The link is in the description. Yes, I fixed it. There it is. Go check that out. Somebody click that link, make sure it works, because I did fix it today. But there it is. And, get in touch with everybody, get to know everybody, keep up with everybody, share memes and videos and texts, and keep up with all things Untethered Live Universe right there on Facebook.com/UntetheredLive family. Happy Hippie, says Trump 2024. Welcome, Happy Hippie. I agree. And by the way, go vote. All of you. Every single one of you. Bring friends. Conserve water. Shower with a friend. Maureen says, that's a leading statement. Help you grow, LOL. It is leading, but it's also true. I'm very transparent with the way I run this business. It is a small business. I'm not making a killing over here. I'm not Tim Pool. But it is my job to make it grow. So the only way I know to do that is to do what I'm doing. Amanda says, Axel, like Trump said last night, they don't show all the polls. And even if they do show all the polls, most of them, if not all of them, are skewed to one direction or the other. They're not earnest representations of the voter base. I would say that if you want a more accurate poll, go to Twitter or YouTube and look at the polls that say, are you voting for Trump or Kamala? And look at those polls. They're more accurate than the polls that are on TV. Because those are being filled out by people who are out there. I've never been called for a poll in my entire life. Neither have you. So they're clearly not factoring my beliefs into it. Maureen says, oh boy, I'm very sick with my mind in the gutter. That's all right, Maureen. I can go there a little bit. I'm pretty good at risque. I don't want to go over the top because there's a lot of ladies in here, but I'll play games with you. Amanda says, hi, hippie, welcome. Love the name. I do too. Happy Hippie. Very nice. Maureen says, Celtic Thunder. And yes, I said Celtic and not Celtic because that's a football team. Or some sport. Axel says, Trump was handed a loss when he controlled the government. He just feels like they're trying to play it as close to make MAGA complacent. Well, he was handed a loss because everyone, and I mean everyone, in the mainstream media and in the government was against him from day one. Had they got out of his way and left him alone and actually allowed him to run the country the way he wanted to, and he was able to achieve the things he had set in motion or had in mind to set in motion, we would have been tenfold where we were when he left, which was a very good position when he left, considering all of the attacks. So yeah, it's a bad thing that so many people are against him, but the reason that they're against him is because he's not a globalist and he's not playing the same game that everybody else is playing, and that's the big problem. He wasn't supposed to win in 2016, but he did, and that shocked everybody. And they've been trying to correct that ever since, and they're not going to be able to. This is his third nomination. This is the third time, arguably, that he's won the presidency. If you go back to 2020, he was president at closing of the polls on election night. He was the president. And then at 3:00 in the morning, we all know the graph that jumped up like that, and suddenly there were more votes for Joe Biden. I don't know what happened there. I'm not espousing that they cheated or anything like that, but I can tell you that when the polls closed, he was the president. Whatever happened after that was after that, which is why a Supreme Court justice this week put into law that any votes that come in after midnight at the end of closing on election day cannot be counted. That's unconstitutional. You got until midnight or whenever it is they close the polls. If the votes hadn't been counted, they don't count. Period. So go vote. Go vote now. In person. With a pen. Don't mess with those machines. If you get to your voting polls and they have machines, go to another place. Maureen says, listen to everything and decide for yourself. Correct. You got to look for the truth yourself. And Amanda says, walking with Jake, always. Aw, walk with Jesus, but I'll take your company. Amanda says, yes, Jake. The link works. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Maureen says, just a thought. But y'all prepare for election day as you would for a hurricane. If they cut the power of the internet, or ... you are prepared. Like take cash out and fill your cart. Fill your car. I got you. Yeah, it would be nice to have some cash on hand during that period. It would be nice to have a full tank of gas. It would be nice to have a go bag unless you need it, because who knows what's going to happen. We're liable to break out in civil war at that election day. I don't know that we will. It might just come and go like every other election does, but it might be rough. Especially if you live in a city. If you live in or near a city, prepare yourself. It's going to get nasty. Maureen says, done. I voted Thursday. That's the way to go, Maureen. Amanda says, Maureen, you're gutter-minded tonight, LOL. Well, everybody's got to have a little bit of frisky in them. World ain't worth living if you can't get frisky. Maureen says, Amanda? Yep, LOL. And Amanda says, LOL, Maureen, it's okay. I find myself there often. I kind of bring that out in people, don't I? Maureen says, LOL, and Amy says, most accurate polls in America are at the nudie bar. Amen, sister. Hello, Abdullah. Hello. Whatever that says. You want to change that back to English or no? Because I don't know what that means. But I don't like the way it looks. Maureen says, Trump was able to show the underside of politics. Yes, he exposed all of the creepy crawlies just by being there. He has a knack for that. Amy says, I was polled via text twice. Really? I have never heard from a pollster ever in my life. Nor do I know anybody other than you that have been. Was it a national poll, like for president, or was it just somebody curious about what you thought? Was it one of the pollsters? Maureen says, you're right, Amy. And Amanda says, true, Amy, and those can be nasty. Nudie bar polls? Yeah, you don't want to lick one of those. Or do you? Axel says, Jake, please believe the rally numbers Kamala is putting up. I do. I've seen a 30K plus crowd, and it wasn't a deep fake. No, it wasn't. But it was an anticipation of a Beyonce concert, which they didn't get. The polls are lying to make MAGA complacent. Well, they might be. I don't doubt that at all. Which is why it's important that you go vote, because your vote matters. Even if it matters locally, it adds up. If you don't go vote in person, and if you don't go vote now, or if you get complacent and say, well, he's not going to win, or he has already won, and you don't vote, that's your fault if you lose. You must go vote. All of you. Everybody. Anybody you know. Drag them out there. Talk to your friends. Talk to your liberal friends. Make them see the light. Make them go vote for Kamala. But make them vote. Maureen says, we used to have election day, not election week or season. Right. All the other countries in the world can do it in one day, and we used to do it in one day. Why can't we now? Because if we do it in one day, it's hard to flub those numbers. Amanda says, Kamala isn't pulling in nowhere near as many people as Trump is. This is also true. EA says, EA. Is that what that says? Well, I'm glad. Amanda says, hi, EA. And hi, EA. Good to see you. Amy says, less than an hour after he was sworn in, they filed for an impeachment. True. Koozaid29 says, vote Trump. Amen, Koozaid. Welcome to the show. Please do hit that like button, and please do hit that subscribe button. We need all the new people we can get. This is one pro-Trump channel that will not be wishy-washy on its stance. Amanda says, hi, Koozaid, and we got a great crowd here, by the way, Koozaid, and all you new people. A great crowd of loving people that are very interesting. I strongly recommend you become part of the community. It's a real community, not one of those fake ones that they just call a community when there's no real cohesion between the people that they're calling a community. They just happen to be the same thing. This is a community. And we're here for each other, and that matters. That's power in numbers. Amy says, I'm voting for him. Amen. John says, I can't vote, but I wish I could. Why can't you vote, John? Are you a felon? Or a non-citizen? Amy says they unconstitutionally changed the voting laws under the guise of the pandemic. Amen. Rachel says, I had an enlightenment last night, and I'll be voting for Harris. Well, you get what you ask for, honey. While you're going broke and people are taking your rights away from you and things are not going in your favor, remember that you voted for Harris. Other than that, I'll still be your friend. Koozaid says, an enlightenment, what about? What about a reality, right? What about reality? Amanda says, Rachel, you've taken too many pills, girl. Please. EA says, Trump will trigger WW3. Really? He didn't last time he was president for 4 years. By the way, he's not the one calling people Hitler and calling for somebody to be taken out. So how's that work exactly, EA? He's also the only president in modern history that had no wars and had peace on earth while he was in office, relatively speaking, that wasn't already going on. There were wars that he inherited. He didn't start any. So how exactly is he going to trigger WW3? Wouldn't it be more wise to say that if Trump wins, we'll have WW3 because of the nonsense people that can't make up their minds about things in reality? That's not Trump's fault. That's their fault. So Fallon says, I love your top. Pink is my favorite color. I am moving house. Well, this isn't a top. It's a shirt. I'm a dude. But thank you, and I appreciate the confidence. It takes a real man to wear pink and not be ashamed. Amy says, that's your right, Rachel, but you should really rethink it. I agree. And Rachel says, Lamau, I was just kidding. Had me worried there for a minute, girl. Amanda says, hi, Soph. And John says, British. Oh, you're British. That's why you can't vote. I got you. I knew that. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I said, are you a felon? You can vote. If illegals can vote, you can vote. Come on. We'll take you. Just use the last name Smith. It'll screw them up. They won't be able to find you. John Smith. Write in that you've been dead for 3 years. They might cast you for Harris, but you can vote. That's a joke, by the way. Don't do that. Maureen says, I have a young friend who isn't going to vote because she thinks Trump is mixed in the 2025 crap in women's bodies. And I told her he was mixed in it. I told her he wasn't mixed in it. And he only sent abortion back to the states, not banning it all the way across. And Maureen says, banned it, and she still has 3 exceptions. Has the 3 exceptions. Well, here's the thing. The 2025 nonsense is from the Heritage Foundation. It's not from Trump. He's not affiliated with the Heritage Foundation. And on more than 5 occasions, he has completely denounced any contact with anybody in the Heritage Foundation. He is not supporting 2025 at all. That's a personal thing that has nothing to do with President Trump. And he didn't ban abortions. He took the Roe v. Wade law and put it back to the states, which was unconstitutional in the first place. And everybody on both sides wanted that to happen and couldn't get it done. He got it done. So why they keep using that as a talking point is beyond me, because anybody that can read a minute of history knows better. They lied to get that law in place in the first place. It was unconstitutional. It was not a good law. The woman who is named, I think, Roe, whichever one, Wade or Roe, I don't know which one it is. But that woman became a Christian and denounced her involvement in that whole case. She was lied to. And she had 3 children when she died. So, if she died, I don't know. It seems like I heard that she died, but she might still be alive. Amy says, John H. is across the big pond. Right on. And Rachel says, Amanda, ha, 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 ha. Stephen Frazquez, felons not being able to vote is stupid. Why? I personally think you shouldn't be able to vote unless you own land or have children. I'll give you those 2. If you don't have children and you don't own land, you should not be able to vote. And if you're not a citizen of the United States, that's a big one. I don't think felons should vote because they're felons. They're criminals. They've already given up their rights. They chose to break the laws of the land. That's why they can't vote. I'm okay with that. Anybody that's an earnest felon, like young and stupid and did some shit they got in trouble for, will tell you they got the right punishment. They shouldn't have done what they did. If they can ever get their citizenship back by getting out of the felon thing, by getting a pardon or whatever, they would be much grateful to be part of the civilization again. That should deter you from doing stupid shit when you're young, by the way. But I understand what you're saying. And some people do feel that way, and I'm not downing you for feeling that way. But my personal opinion, people that vote are oftentimes very low IQ people that have nothing in the game. If you own property and you vote, then you have a skin in the game. Then the vote actually sways what happens to you in your life. That's why I think it should be like that. That's my opinion. It's not law. Amanda says, that's what I thought, Rachel. Girl, I was about to say, LOL. And Amanda says, hi, Stephen, welcome. And Rachel says, LOL, that hurt to say, honestly. My cat is hurting. Well, it's not always a good thing to hurt your kitty, but sometimes might be fun. Anyway, Rachel says, chest. My chest is hurting. Oh, I thought you were talking about something else. My bad. Amanda says, oh, geez, Rachel, LOL. Maureen says, November 3rd, we set our clocks back. November 5th, we take our country back. America. I'm with you. I don't set my clock back. Mine's hooked up to the interweb. It sets itself back. If it was left up to me, I'd be on 1984 time still. EA says, you will see. Yes, I will see. And when I see, I will know that I was right. Axel says, I'm sorry, guys. I've seen things working in media that are worrisome, as have I. You have to believe there is an unseen groundswell they're keeping hidden. MAGA has mistakenly called it fake. Well, I don't speak for MAGA. MAGA is a movement. It involves a lot of people. I speak for me, and I voted for Trump. So, and I'm telling everyone I know to go vote. And hopefully they'll vote for common sense and vote for Trump. And if everybody does vote, it doesn't matter what the polls say. I don't disagree with what you're saying, Axel. You may very well be right. the media oftentimes plays fast and loose with the rules, and they play games to keep people off their rockers. That being said, you shouldn't listen to the media. You should just live in reality and go do the things you're required to do, and hopefully it works out for the best. And pray. They are planning to change the Middle East face, says EA. I know. Guess who's going to do that? That would be Kamala Harris and her group, not Trump. Trump is not interested in the Middle East. He's not a warmonger. Go look at who just endorsed Kamala Harris in the past 2 weeks. Dick Cheney, John McCain's daughter. Can't think of her name. Warmongers. Liz Cheney. You know who they are? They have stock in Halliburton, for one thing. Halliburton is a company that does stuff over there. Maureen says, didn't take pay and lost money in office. So exactly how was he in it for the money? I must have missed one. Let me scroll back up. Oh, here we go. Nope. Nope, I didn't miss one. That's what it says. Exactly. He lost money, and he didn't take any money. They didn't pay him to be president. He took every penny he made for president and donated it into the treasury for the country. He didn't take a penny. Think about that. Name one president who didn't take any money to be president other than Trump. Amanda says, EA, are you even in the United States? I don't think so. Maureen says, South Carolina launched free concealed weapons permits courses statewide. News break. Awesome. Free concealed weapon permit courses in South Carolina. So if you want your concealed weapons, is that nationwide or is it just for South Carolina? I don't know how that works. I think each state is different. John H. says, or hire a plastic boat like the French do with the migrants, right? Amy says, I can't read the squiggly line comments. And Maureen says, yep, I feel for the kids and I pray I can somehow reach her. She wants to be a guy, but she comes from messed up parents. They were lesbians until one decided she was trans, so pray for her. I don't know what's gotten into this generation, but they are some kind of screwed up. And honest to God, I don't know if we're going to be able to save them. I think it's a lost generation. I think they have gone too far over the edge like lemurs. That being said, some of them have woken up, so hopefully she'll come to her senses. Reality has a way of slapping people in the face and slapping the fantasy out of their mouth. EA says, Amanda, I am not, but I know politics from news. Well, there's your first problem. The news is not telling you politics. The news is telling you propaganda. That's what news is. There is no such thing as news anymore. News, when Bill Clinton consolidated all of the licenses for broadcasting and turned hundreds of companies into 6 companies, from that moment forward, news stopped being a thing and it became entertainment. And once it's entertainment, then you can interject opinions, and that's the problem. You don't get news anymore. You get opinions and people who are pushing opinions to make you think the way you're thinking. Go outside, look around. That's what's going on. It's not on the news. Amy says, ex-cons served their time, paid their debts to society. I agree. But while they're ex-cons, they should not be allowed to vote. I do agree with you that once they've served their debt to society, they should be reinstated. Because that's what serving your debt means. You don't owe a debt anymore, so now you're back to square one. So that we could probably work on. But while you're a convict, while you're in jail, while you're a felon, you should not be able to vote. Maureen says, depend on if you have completed your sentence completely, including supervised release, and then they can apply to vote. There you go. I think some states do that. I don't know if all of them do. Maureen says, I read about it today. And Amanda says, well, EA, the news is mostly full of bullshit. Just FYI. I agree. And Maureen says, if it was... Your chat's going to jump. Let me get back to it. If it was restricted to property and or kids, I wouldn't be able to vote. Well, you don't have any property or children? Everybody can't have that. I understand that. I was being facetious and not trying to exclude anyone who didn't have those things. My point is that if you don't have any skin in the game, how can you make an informed decision, right? There's a lot of people out there that vote that don't have any skin in the game. There's other things. It ain't just property and kids along those lines of thinking. There could be business owners. There could be, people who are part of the community leaders, that sort of thing. So it doesn't have to, obviously this is my opinion and it's not completely thought out. It's just an idea. But my point is that you have to have skin in the game. And if you don't have skin in the game, what are you voting for, really? And I was talking to somebody who was leaning in the other direction. So you have to understand the context of what I was thinking. I wasn't trying to disclude you from being able to vote with that opinion. If I were a politician, I may think that out more thoroughly and have more stipulations. But I do think that property owners and people who have children are the ones whose votes matter the most. Maybe everybody should be able to vote, but they should be able to vote twice. How about that? Amy Elizabeth says, welcome, new folks. 45 watching. Say hi. Yeah, please do say hi if you're in the chat. Make your opinions heard. Mine ain't the only one that matters. As Maureen just reminded me that I'm a moron and shouldn't talk. Amanda says, like, subscribe, share, support. Get yourself a J tag by joining the channel. Or hit that CashApp $ jakejohnsonband. Or paypal.me/jakejohnsonband. Or Super Chats are available in the chat box. Thank you very much. Kevin Bernard, welcome. If you still trust the mainstream media, you should have your voting privileges removed. At the very least, you should have a psychological evaluation. I agree, Kevin. EA says, Amanda, maybe you're right. Definitely. And Amanda says, hi, Kevin. And Kevin says, hello, Amanda. And Amanda says, I know I'm right, EA. I check everything out, and then I check it again. And then she asks Jake. I live in the U.S., and I know what's going on here. Easy now. There's a lot going on we're not aware of. Maureen says, nope. It was a left field statement. It was. Rand Althor says, as a non-American, well, you lost me there. As a non-American, I am baffled as to why people think Kamala will be an effective leader. She isn't at the moment, and she can't communicate properly. Well, Rand, as an American, I agree with you 100%. And I think that people are starting to wake up to that knowledge. I think that there was a honeymoon period where everybody was just happy to have somebody that wasn't dying in front of our eyes. And then they listened to her talk for a little while. And I think that it's backfiring tremendously. And Maureen says, statewide only, I think. The gun thing? Yeah. Probably. And Amanda says, hi, Rand, welcome. And Maureen says, but maybe contagious, I hope. What's that? I've lost the thread. What are we talking about? What do you think may be contagious? Amanda says, you're absolutely right, Rand. And Amy says, hi, Kevin. And Kevin says, hello, Amy. Amy says, rhinos. That's Republicans in name only. And Maureen says, journalism has, for the most part, died. I agree. I haven't seen anybody doing any real journalism in a long time, other than, say, Joe Rogan or Tim Pool or somebody like that. They're actually trying to figure out what's going on. Vinny D'Onofrio. Hey, Vinny. Welcome to the show. Amanda says, hi, Vinny. And Vinny says, Obama passed a law that allows the mainstream media not to be held liable for any errors or propaganda. That was the continuation of what Bill Clinton put into into law, consolidating all of the main broadcasters down to 6 companies. So, yeah, they've had their thumb on it for a while. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but the Bush administration, second Bush, not the first Bush, actually they were preparing segments and sending them out to the news, and they would air them as if it was news, made at the White House. That's not good either. You can't be doing that. That's the opposite of news. Amanda says, once a felon, always a felon, unless you have a record expunged. I don't agree with that. I think you should be able to pay your debt to society and get back to the swing of things. I guess it depends on what you're a felon over. If it's violent, maybe once a felon, always a felon. But if you get caught up in some insurance fraud or something like that, some nonviolent crime, petty drugs, I don't think you should be held against your life for your entire life. I think you should have a term, and then that should be over. Amanda says, hi, Vinny, welcome. And Vinny says, and Maureen says, freedom is enough, skin in the game. Maybe. I could be wrong about that. I'm not married to that idea. I'm not sure that I agree with that, though, because freedom is the fundamental thing that we get, and you should vote to protect that, but a lot of people don't care about that. Think about all the people that are Marxists and communists that vote. That's who I had in mind when I said that. I wasn't talking about you, obviously. Obviously, it needs to be a more nuanced thought. I don't need to just shoot off at the mouth, but you know what I'm saying. I think you know what I mean. Kevin says, Amanda, Trump is a felon. No, Trump is not a felon. If you've been paying attention, that's all being overturned in appellate court because it was fraudulent in the first place. Pay attention. Don't listen to talking points. Hacker says, hi, what's up, Hacker? I'm a little dubious about you. George Marino says, hi. Hey, George. Welcome to the show, Hacker and George. Amanda says, I don't have a problem with felons, Kevin. LOL. Right? Patty says, hello from Tennessee. And Maureen says, I have nieces and nephews. That's children. There you go. You're part of a family. Problem solved. Amanda says, hi, Patty. I bet you helped raise them too, didn't you? Maureen says, then we get closer to democracy. The problem is we don't live in a democracy. And anybody that uses that term, i.e., democracy's on the ballot, or we must save our democracy, or he's trying to destroy our democracy. We don't have a democracy. This is a constitutional republic. We do not live in a democracy. It is democratically elected, but those officials are part of a republic. Patty says, hi, Amanda. And Kevin says, just saying. As it stands, Trump supposedly a felon. Supposedly is a big word, though, Kevin. And by the way, there's no law that says you can't be president if you're a felon. You can be a felon in prison and still be president. Maureen says, no, you are not a moron. Just trying to think, LOL. Thank you. And Maureen says, I'm trying to think 2, I think. Maureen says, good night, all. EA. And Amanda says, but what was he charged with, Kevin? Yes, what are these felonies that you speak of? And is it really a felony? Or are you reading headlines and assuming that they're telling you the truth? In case you don't know what he was charged with, the only thing in 8 years that he has been charged with. Now, keep in mind, when he won presidency in 2016, 5 minutes after he got into office, they impeached him. And it's been ongoing ever since. They've thrown every 3-letter agency and every Tom, Dick, and Harry at him that they could find to try and stop him, charge him with something. If they could have caught him jaywalking, he'd be in prison for it right now. The only thing he's been charged with is in a ledger he wrote under expenses, instead of, I use this money to pay off a hooker. That's it. That's what he got charged with 36 times. Same thing. Now, is that a felony? It's only a felony because they changed the law that week to include that for 1 year as a felony. It is a misdemeanor. It always has been, and it always will be from here ever after. But for 1 year, so that they could charge him on it, they made it a felony. Think about that for a minute. The guy that did that was a guy that was in the cabinet of Joe Biden who took a pay cut to come be DA in New York City. He left his job at the White House to come work so that he could prosecute Trump in New York. Took a big pay cut to do that. How many people do you know move laterally downward in a position of power? How many people give up power to work at a less powerful place? I'm guessing you don't have all the information, Kevin. Not to fear, you're at Untethered Live and we give out the information. Amanda says, good night, EA. And Maury says, good night, Squiggly. Squiggly, I like it. And Amanda says, LOL, Maureen. And Kevin says, Amanda, not only that, but the charges were upgraded to a felony for Trump only. No one else has ever been charged with that crime, nor will they ever be, because it's not a felony, which is why it's being overturned in the appellate court as we speak. And he's already probably won that case. Something was about it on the news, but I didn't hear it. Amanda says, and Trump's charges will be dismissed. Of course they will be, because he's about to win president. And if he wins president, they're not going to arrest him. Maureen says, she's no more competent than Joe is, meaning Kamala. Right. Now, there's a name. Hang on, I'll get it. My chat jumped. I got to scroll back up. Cindy Kojakari says, Harris will destroy America. I think I pronounced that right. Kojakari, is that right? I agree. And Amanda says, what is the charge, though, Kevin? And Maureen says, she's lost in her Venn diagrams. Right. Amy says, I found an ERCB radio on my husband's truck today. Sweet. Is that good? Amanda says, hi, Cindy. Welcome. And you are right, Cindy. And Amanda says, I saw that, Amy. So cool. Cindy says, hello, fellow patriots. Hello, Cindy. Welcome to the show. Please subscribe. Let's gain some subscriptions tonight. Maureen says, concealed carry training become contagious. Oh, yeah. I hope it does become contagious. I hope every state does that. Randall Thor says, Trump is many things, but unclear is not one of them. He says the country can be better, and it seems to have plans. Amen, Rand. I like your name, by the way, Rand. Reminds me of someone. Amy says, in, not on, hold up to the cigarette lighter and has a little antenna with a magnet. What are you talking about? Oh, the CB. Gotcha. CB radio. Hooks up. It hooks up to the cigarette lighter. So there's a little CB that hooks up to your cigarette lighter. Got it. And it has a magnetic antenna. Understood. Cindy says, thank you, Amanda. And Amanda says, name Trump's charge, Kevin. Nobody can, because there's not a name for it. And when people are put to the fire like that, they usually retreat because they don't have an answer. They just are repeating what they heard on MSNBC, MSDNC. And that's not a thought. That's a talking point. And that's the difference between people of intellect and people of moronicism. Maureen says, moronicism? You got me. Maureen says, that's an extension of the Democrat Party. Right on. Rachel says, everyone just needs to take some chill pills and relax. Cindy says, Trump 2025. Heart, heart, heart. Colin Hill, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. He says, hey, Jake, I dropped a bowling ball on my toe today. Was that before or after your date with the young lady? And how's your toe? Amanda says, I'm with you on that felony stuff, but that's how it works. A felony never goes away once convicted. Well, I don't think it should be that way. But again, these are my opinions, and I don't run the country. So I think that once you've served your time for whatever crime you've committed, and it should be a fair sentence for that crime, I think you should be freed. Amanda says, hi, Colin. LOL, Colin, good one. Amy says, don't forget friends. Bible study is tomorrow at 8 p.m. That's good thing to say there, Amy. Come join us tomorrow, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Untethered Live for Bible study. Sunday at 8 p.m., Monday at 8:30 p.m. every week. Come join us. You'll learn something you never heard before. The truth. Amanda says, LOL, Rachel, LOL, Rachel, political always gets intense. You mean politi-tics always gets intense. Yes, it hadn't got intense yet. Although we do have 1,657 views so far. Nice. I might make 12 cents off of this podcast. Yes. Moving on up to the east side. Get out of here, critter. Go away. Shoot. Colin says, it's black and blue with a heartbeat. Your toe grew a heart? That's weird. How hard did you hit it with a bowling ball? Maureen says, I got you. And Rachel says, true, but everyone just needs to chill. Maureen says, it was a kangaroo court rigged to get what they wanted to get. This is true. Rachel says, Colin, that's tragic. And Amanda says, LOL, well, start handing some out and quit keeping them all to yourself, Rachel. Kevin says, Maureen, and it worked. They got their talking points. Exactly. They never intended to go all the way. What they wanted was to be able to say the word felon behind the name Trump every time they used it, and they got that. Doesn't matter if they convict him or not. The damage has been done because the talking points are everywhere. And Amy says, democracy is mob rule. Exactly. And the problem with that is nobody can agree on anything. Rachel says, facts, Amanda. It's hard for me to get it myself, but I got y'all. Oh. Colin says, Jake, I found out we have an old police scanner from the 50s or the 70s. Well, hopefully it's from the 70s, because if it's from the 50s, that's a weird police scanner. But that's cool. Maureen says, oh, I agree. I correct that democracy idea every time it comes across, or I come across it. Right on. Yep, we do not live in a democracy. Kevin says, fraud. Yep. Amy says, Kevin is a good guy. I believe that. And I'm glad to have you here, Kev. And I'm glad to hear your ideas. But Trump's not a felon. C'est la vie, mon ami. My last cigarette. Forever. I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to run out. And I'm much too lazy. Maureen says, along with the illegals, criminal invaders. Right on. John H. says, if I think it be dangerous. If you think it be dangerous? Are you saying it's dangerous for you to think? What are you saying? Are you saying you're a criminal mastermind and when you go to thinking, shit happens? Amanda says, he was not charged with a fraud. Nope, he was not charged with fraud. Andrew says, welcome, Andrew. I am a veteran, and Trump is a traitor with Putin. It's embarrassingly obvious. Is it now, Andrew? Would you care to share as to how you might have come to that conclusion of your very own self without anybody implanting that thought into your mind? Because I think you're wrong. First of all, I don't think you understand the relationship that happens with other world leaders. I don't think that you'll ever find a single president in history that hasn't also spent time with Putin since he was been in office, including your favorite ones. Remember the old reset button? That was Hillary Clinton playing patty cake with Putin, trying to get him on her side. This was before they decided to ramp up the oil refinery. So I don't think you know what you're talking about there, Andrew. Veteran or not, you might be suffering from shell shock if you think Trump's a traitor. Trump is the only hope this country has, which is obvious from the past 4 years of evidence and the past 8 years of everybody trying to get you to believe that he's a Putin puppet. It's ridiculous that you even think that. You should be ashamed that you even allowed yourself to believe that nonsense. I knew the day they started it what was going on. They were trying to ramp up so that we would inevitably go to war with the other world superpower because they make a lot of money with war, and that's the idea. And by the way, welcome. Amanda says, hey, Andrew, welcome. And Maureen says, the big thing is those who know the truth must correct the misinformed, which is why I have a political show on Saturdays. Kevin says, yep, Trump's fraud charges were fraud. They had to upgrade the charge to do it. Yeah, but it's not fraud because it was his business and he did spend money and it did go through that ledger. That's not fraud. So he did not get charged with fraud. Amy Elizabeth says, the only thing that might stick in the documents thing, if anything, because he delayed giving them back, but he did give them back. You're talking about, yeah, that's already been overturned. No, they screwed with that too much. That was completely fake. That's not going to haunt him at all. He's won that case. They were in the wrong. Maverick, welcome back. Maverick says, hi. Maureen says, and those charges were expired before they were handed out. That's right. It's also past the statute of limitations on that fraud case, which means they lied. Amanda says, hi, Maverick. Maureen says, Amy, Biden did much worse, so I hope that helps Trump. Amen. Kevin says, it's tough in chat. Words can be taken out of context. I live in the New York area, and that's why words can be taken out of context, because you live in the New York area and you don't know how to have a conversation. But I'll fix that. It's okay. I know firsthand how screwed up their court system is. Right on. Well, listen, the rest of the world does not work like New York, and most people have a consensus of ideas. Most people. And then there's cities, and they have a different consensus of ideas. And that's where the problem is. It's a misdirect. They're taught one thing, everybody else is taught something else. And then there's a divide. So the way we handle that is by having dialogue like this. I read your chat, and then I respond to it earnestly, whether it be heated or otherwise, and then we come to some middle ground. And that's a beautiful thing about having dialogue. That's the beautiful thing about freedom of speech, which is something they're trying very hard to stop, because good ideas kill bad ideas. And the only way you can hear ideas is if somebody espouses them. Maureen says, I don't know his name, and I wanted to say bye and not sharp tonight. Amen. LOL. Whose name? Amy says, Kevin is a good guy. He's having trouble expressing what he means. That's all right. There's plenty of room for Kevin to talk. Nobody's going to stop him from it. So just work through your thought and play it out the way you can, and we'll get to it. And if we don't understand it, then we'll get corrected as we go. There's no harm in that. Don't think for 1 second that I'm being hard on you, Kevin. I'm not. I'm just espousing my opinions back as I read the things that are being said. That I have no ill will against you, and I'm welcoming you into this chat. You have every right to speak as everyone else does. Maureen says, true, Kev. And Kevin says, I have been found guilty of talking on my cell phone when I showed the officer I was talking through Bluetooth. Yeah, that's rough. They got some weird ideas in New York. Rand says, I'm going to retract the message just to screw with Jake. I can't read it if you retract it. Bugs Buggies, welcome back. Good to see you, my friend. What's up, people? I went on a 180-mile ride today. Awesome. Which bike did you ride? I do that regularly because it's the only transportation I got. Amanda says, Trump's bullshit charges will be dismissed just like all the rest of them. I agree. I think so, too. Right now, the appellate court's ready to throw them out. They just haven't done it yet. And Amanda says, hi, Bucks. And Kevin says, Kevin's a big boy. I can hold my own, but thank you. Oh, she's just looking out for you, Kev. That's all right. And she also probably understands that I get taken wrong a lot, too, because I'm very quick. And, you know, sometimes it sounds like I'm yelling at you, but I'm not. I lean into the madness because it's good content. That's all. I'm actually quite centrist in my belief system. And Amanda says, nice, Bucks. And Buck says, hello, awesome Amanda. And Rachel says, this is making my head hurt. Why? Why is it making your head hurt, Rachel? Monkey Juice says, Trump pardon 2024. He don't need to be pardoned. He won't be found guilty. Unlike other presidents we know about, he didn't actually do anything he wasn't supposed to do. And Amanda says, hey, Monkey. And Rachel says, I'ma just watch Jerry Springer and relax. Good night, y'all. Rachel, God bless you. Thank you for being here, sweetie. It is a politics night, so it gets that way on Saturday. It's okay. And Amanda says, good night, Rachel. And Maureen says, good night, Rachel. And Monkey Juice says, hi, Amanda. And Amanda says, you coming to the other side, Monkey? Yeah, Monkey, have you voted yet? And did you make the right choice? Bucks Buggy says, I got another bike. It's a 2005 Honda Shadow Sabre 1100. Hey, I had a American Classic Edition Honda Shadow for a while, and I loved it. It's every bit as pretty as my Harley is. And I actually regret selling it. I wish I'd have kept it. But I did need the money, so I did sell it. I got a pretty good penny for it, too. I bought it for $2,500 cash. I drove it for a year and a half, almost 2 years, and I sold it for $2,000 cash. So, you know, I couldn't hardly beat that. But that Honda Shadow is a good bike. I'm proud of you. It's a good buy. In fact, the next bike I buy might be a Honda Shadow. Rand says, thanks. My YouTube name is my favorite character from my favorite book series. I wonder if Democrats will lose their minds or less after Trump wins. I hope it's more. Free entertainment. Amen, brother. Which is your favorite book? Or your favorite book series? I'm thinking Al Thor has something to do with Dungeons and Dragons or something of the like. I can't place the name, though. Rand Al Thor. Unless you're talking about Batman. But I think his name was something else, wasn't it? Rand. It had Rand in it. Al Ghul. I think that's what it was. Anyway. And Monkey says, nope. Well, Monkey Juice, if you vote for Kamala Harris, you have done a disservice to yourself, my friend. And Amanda says, nice, Bucks. And Monkey says, LOL. And Kevin says, Jake's gonna retire early. I am? How? For the $9 I've made? What are we talking about? Buck says, I got her up to 105 miles per hour today, and she was floating. I bet she was. Yeah, those are nice bikes. I like them. Amanda says, smash that like button, everybody, please. Yeah, there's 36 people in chat and only 14 likes. What's wrong with that picture? Just hit the like button. It's not hard. Amy says, struggling to keep connected to the internet. I hope you can get that fixed, honey. Amanda says, sorry, Amy. I bet Bucks is it full dressed? She's asking, does it have all the saddlebags and leather pieces and stuff? Shep Gibson. I like your name, Shep. Welcome to the show. A constitutional republic is a form of democracy. No, it's not. A republic is the opposite of a democracy. You're misinformed, but welcome. Bucks Buggy says, it is full dressed, but I did take the dressing off of it. I'm more into the Sportster look. Right on. Amy says, kangaroo court. Is that in or out of the pouch? Out. Amanda says, hi, Shep. Welcome. And Monkey Juice says, Trump, although is convicted grouper. Is a convicted grouper. No, he's not. I don't know what a grouper is. You mean a felon? He's not. And I'll tell you why. Because there's a process, and it's called due process, and he hasn't got to the end of that yet. So until he does, he's innocent until proven guilty, as is customary in the country we live in. And Amanda says, cool, Bucks. I bet it rides like a Cadillac. It does. If it's anything like the Honda Shadow I have, the best way I can describe it is like this. When I was riding that Honda, I felt like I was part of it, like I was in the body of the bike, like I could just think and it would move where I wanted it. It was very well balanced and very light. It didn't cause me any pain or any trouble to keep it upright. It just did what I wanted it to do, and it was fast. When I ride my Harley, I feel like I'm on top of it, like a tank, and it's top heavy, and it takes effort to keep it up, and it hurts my legs when it leans a little bit because it's heavy, right? So the difference is night and day. Amy says a second time, kangaroo court, in or out of the pocket or pouch. Out. Buck says, it is everything I want and more than I need, all at the same time. Maureen says, sadly, many believe the talking points, like Trump was a convicted of rape, but he wasn't. Grape ape. Trump was not convicted of grape ape by no means. He was convicted of libel under the guise of having people come up to the stand and say the word grape ape a lot. Kevin says, at the time I commented, Jake's gonna retire early. Jake was talking about making 11 cents from YouTube. I got you. It was sarcasm. Okay. Sometimes that don't come across, and I apologize for that. I try. I'm also talking to like 1,000 people at one time and trying to keep all those conversations straight as I go. So sometimes I miss, but bear with me. I'm working on it. Just assume that I'm not, assume that I'm coming at it with good intentions, because I am. Black Lab Insanity. What's up? Welcome to the show, and I like your name. Trump saved the military. Biden and Harris right now send $87 million a week to the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Nice try. I hope you're not talking to me, because I didn't say anything like that, but I think Trump saved the military too. Shep says, probably when he sent COVID tests to Putin during the pandemic, when we were running out of tests for Americans. So, by the same breath that you would want illegals to come in from other countries, and by the same breath that you would want us to send money to Ukraine, you have a problem with sending life-saving tests to a country who doesn't have any. By the way, that whole thing was a big LIE. Everyone's still here. Use a brain. Amanda says, hi, Black Lab, welcome. And Amy says, the tests were worthless anyway. So how about that? Monkey Juice says he's absolutely Putin's puppet. In what way, Monkey Juice? Could you give me one piece of evidence that didn't come from the news that proves that? Because you know that all the other presidents also talk to Putin on a regular basis, and Xi Jinping or whoever was in charge at the time they were president, and in every other country too, except for strategic ones like North Korea, which Trump did by himself without a security detail across the DMZ like a man. No trouble out of him since. I wonder why. Putin puppet. Use your brain, man. You're smarter than that. I know. I've talked to you. What does it actually mean to be a Putin puppet, considering he's an American and has been an American icon since the early 70s? You think Putin was in office in the 70s, or do you think he was conscripted along the way? And what exactly has he done in favor of Russia, other than try to get along with them? What exactly do you mean by Putin puppet? Kevin says, Shep, when were we running out of tests? Exactly. That's something that you heard on TV, obviously. We were never running out of tests. Amanda says, Trump is nobody's puppet or puppy or anything else. Right on. And Maureen says, look up treason and find out who all is very guilty and who does not fall under that category. Yeah, look up what the word treason means, all you people, Monkey Juice, and anybody else who believes that nonsense. Shep Gibson says, what are your thoughts about Trump calling for the termination of the Constitution? His words, really? From where? From his official account on his social media platform. Could you provide a link to that, maybe? And which media account? Twitter? I'm willing to bet you misunderstood. I am a member of Truth Social. Are you? And I've read most of his tweets. And I don't recall him ever doing anything other than upholding the Constitution. What exactly are you referring to? Black Lab Insanity says, the military had no ammunition when he came into office. and he tried to stop the stupid wars that USA should never have been in. The industry military complex, Biden is sending billions overseas. True. R. Clark, welcome to the show. Would that be Roy or Ray? Or Ronald? Or Reginald? Or Russell? Or Andy? Yep, Trump is the only hope America has left. Biden signed the UN's Global Migration Compact for open borders. R. Clark, vote Trump. Bucks Buggy says, uh-oh, where'd it go? I'll get there. I'll find it. It can't be far. It might be far. It's getting hard to concentrate. Boy, the chat really did jump. I found it. I have already voted, says Bucks. I hope you voted with common sense. Monkey Juice says, please stop defending every move the guy makes. Why? Why does that offend you? Wouldn't you want somebody to defend you if somebody was lying on your behalf constantly? Amanda says, hi, Clark, welcome. Shep says, Kevin Bernard will hit several shortages. I hope not. Amanda says, well, if Trump gave us something to bash him on, then we would. Exactly. The minute I see him do something that's wrong, I will be the first one to mention it. I haven't seen him do anything that was wrong. Kevin says, Shep, I live in the tri-state area, and we never ran out of tests. Right on. Matter of fact, there was a whole ship right off the coast of New York that was slap full of medical stuff that your governor turned away, that Trump sent. It was a mobile hospital off the coast that you could have taken people to instead of putting them in nursing homes, and they wouldn't have got anybody else sick. But he turned it away. And there were also warehouses of ventilators and tests and vaccines and all kinds of stuff that he would not use. Think about that for a minute. Go look it up. You'll see I'm right. That was Cuomo. Amanda says, what about Kamala telling people that they're at the wrong rally because they were talking about God? Dumb bish. Right. Somebody said Jesus is Lord, and she heard them, and she stopped the rally and said, I think you're at the wrong rally. That tells you everything you need to know about her. Black Lab says there was no Russia collusion. It was Hunter Biden that did the whole crime. Well, he had his own crimes for sure, but the Russia collusion thing was a complete fabrication from Hillary Clinton and her campaign, and they ran with it for 4 years. There was never any proof of it. It was completely fabricated. And it has since been debunked a lot. Yet we still have people today saying Trump's absolutely a Putin puppet. But he's not. Nor was he ever. So that's a lie. And that is no place in reality. Reality is a different thing than what the news says. Shep says, Kevin, good for you. Your experience does not change the reality of the situation. I haven't heard a reality, Shep. You're saying that we almost ran out of tests and he was sending them over to Russia, but that's not true. He was sending them to several different places. Russia was one of them, but we never got close to running out of tests. In fact, we still have tests today. Unfortunately, there's still some morons walking around with a mask on. Kevin says, Shep, can you give me an example of any place that ran out of tests? Question mark. Good question. Black Lab Insanity says Harris was absolutely disgusting what she did to those two young men when they commented on God and Jesus. That's all right, though. Guess what happened this week? She asked, probably begged, Beyonce to endorse her publicly. So reluctantly, Beyonce agreed. And she showed up at the rally that they had in Texas. Now, that place was packed because everybody there thought they were going to get a free Beyonce concert. Well, it turns out that rock stars don't play for free. They make money. And if you want them to perform, you got to pay them. Well, Beyonce came out. She spoke for 3 minutes, and then she left, and then the entire crowd turned on Kamala Harris, and most of them left. It was hilarious. That backfired on her spectacularly. They were booing her. They interrupted her speech and stopped her from talking while they booed her. It was fantastic. And Maureen says, funny, my SPED class was watching CNN 10, and I, knee-jerk, corrected it when they called USA a democracy. I said, no, it's a constitutional republic, and explained it to another aide, and she understood. Excellent. Good for you, Maureen. Maureen says, squiggly. Nice. Shep says, Kevin, New Orleans, Phoenix, and San Jose all in 2020. That's not an example. That's words. He asked for an example. So could you cite the time, place, and establishment that ran out of said tests? Amanda says, LOL, Maureen. His name is EA, Squiggly. I'm going to call him Squiggly from now on. I like it. Monkey says, Bolton, John Kelly, Bill Barr, and more says he's not fit. Why is that? Probably because they hate him, and they're not who they appear to be. And probably because he fired them. And probably because it's money in saying that you hate Trump right now. You write many books on the subject and get lots and lots of money out of it. I defer you to the economy. Remember, it's the economy, stupid. I refer you to that. I refer you to the fact that we were not in any new wars. I refer you to the fact that gasoline was $1.80 when he left office. I refer you to the fact that factories were opening up. Businesses were coming back to America. NATO was full of money. Lots and lots of things. Lots and lots of great things were happening. Had it not been for COVID, it would have been a wild success. Almost as if somebody wanted that to happen. I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people that are complete morons don't like Trump, especially after he fired them. Maureen says, Shep, did they have tests that early in 2020? Yeah, because, the pandemic didn't really get into its full swing of things until like 2022. Amanda says, so after Biden took office, Shep, right. After Biden took office is when you're talking about something that occurred. Maureen says, thanks, Amanda, LOL. It's me says, hey, y'all, how do I watch the Joe Rogan podcast? All right, go to YouTube, right, and type in the search bar JRE or Joe Rogan, and then hit enter, and it will pull it up. You go to the JRE channel, and it's the first video. Just remember, JRE, Joe Rogan Experience. Shep says, Maureen Flood, I didn't come here to do research for you. Well, then shut your mouth. You can't espouse things if you don't have a way to back them up. You understand? That's what the purpose of a conversation is. If you're going to run your mouth, then you should be able to prove what you're saying. Or at least have a consensus of people that agree with you. That's how conversation works. If you don't want to prove what you're saying, then don't say it. because you're in a room full of people who disagree with you. And that's the nature of disagreeing. What makes you right are the facts that you stand on, not your opinion. Amanda says, hi, it's me. It's me says, hey, Amanda. Maureen says, okay, Shep. I'm just asking my friend. And Amanda says, go to Joe Rogan on YouTube. Search it, and it's there. It's me. It's Joe Rogan Experience, JRE. Shep says, no one has any thoughts on Trump calling for the termination of the Constitution. I believe I asked you to show me where he said that. Nobody has any thoughts on Trump asking for the world to be split in half and have all of the MAGA people on one side and throw all the liberals on the other side? Because I'm pretty sure he said that somewhere, but I don't know where, so I'm just asking. Hoping I can gin up some excitement. Hoping I'll look like I'm smart enough to know what's going on. That's what I hear. Where did Trump call for the termination of the Constitution? He didn't. Amanda says he is not going to do that, Shep. Or he would have done it the first time he was president for 4 years. Shep. Remember that? 4 years ago. Wasn't even that long ago. Maureen says, Shep, I've heard someone else say that, but I never seen any clips of him saying it or probably any links to where he said it. Black Lab Insanity says, Shep, that's not Trump. Harris wants to control freedom of speech and your guns. Do your homework. Shep says, Amanda, he said it. What are your thoughts on that? Simple. He didn't say it. I have proof because I pay attention. Do you? Kevin says, Shep, he called for suspending the Constitution, not removing it. And there was context to that statement, unlike what you're saying. And I'd like to know where he said that. Amy Elizabeth says, I don't care. Trump made a few mistakes, but his presidency was a success. 3.5 years versus 4 years of total disaster under Biden, right? And Amanda says, no, he did not. I've watched all of his speeches. Amy says, can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's right. Just because somebody does something that you don't agree with does not make their success any less valid. And Amanda says, you're confusing him with Harris. Shep says, Kevin Bernard, incorrect. His direct quote was termination. Well, if you have the direct quote, it should not be an issue for you to share that quote with us. Where did you see it? Give us a link, please. If not, you're just talking nonsense. Black Lab Insanity says Harris is trying to destroy the Constitution, which is unlike what somebody said they might do if they said that, which they didn't. Kevin says, Shep, I remember it well. Would somebody please give us a direction so we could go look at it? I'll pull it up. Don't think I won't. Shep says, Amanda, it wasn't a speech. It was his official Truth Social account. Oh, so he said something on Truth Social, which is designed to get people's goats, and you think that's a presidential statement. Was he president when he said it? Or was he a private citizen trying to get people's goats to drum up some attention? Because I think there's a difference. Amanda says, Trump is all about constitutional rights. Yes, he is. And everything that he has done, i.e. his behavior, has led to that idea. Everything he's done has been for the American people, for the Constitution. He has great reverence. Watch the JRE podcast. He talks about the reverence he has for the White House and how in awe he was of being there and how he felt responsible to do good for the country. Go listen to the man talk. You might learn something you didn't know. Maureen says, I don't think Trump will terminate or suspend the Constitution, but the Democrats have been actively working on destroying it. That's doing, not saying. Amanda says, I watched that too. I've never seen anything like it. Shep says, it's okay, bud. Look it up. The facts betray you. No, they don't. Facts are facts for a reason, because they don't betray you. They are the facts. And I don't need to look it up because I'm already aware of what my president-to-be is going to do. Same thing he did when he was president before. Shep says, Amanda, sorry, you missed it. That doesn't make it not have happened. Well, if it did happen, then you shouldn't have any trouble finding it. It's very simple. One link will suffice. Kevin says, Shep, do you agree that the internet needs to be censored? That's a good question, Kevin. Monkey Juice says 15 likes now. Thank you. 18 likes. Shep says, Kevin Bernard, not by the government. Good sidestep, though. So you agree it needs to be censored, just not by the government. It wasn't a sidestep. He's trying to get at why you may think the way you think. That's called a weave. It's not called a sidestep. Randa Thor says, Wheel of Time is the book series. Got it. They're making a TV series about it. And we had a state election in my state here in Australia. Finally got rid of the useless government after they had 10 years in power. Well, that's good. Hopefully they're better than they were during the pandemic. And Wheel of Time, by the way, was made into a TV series. I hope they're making a new one because the old one was woke garbage. And I hope that they make a better version of it, because you won't enjoy that, I don't think. Amanda says, Trump is always talking about making the constitutional rights stand. Always. Kevin says, Shep, so who do you think should censor you? Good question. Shep says, I'll answer your question when you answer mine. You haven't asked a question. You've espoused a statement and then refused to back it up with facts. Nobody's going to answer you because it's nonsense. Amy says, Kamala was the one that made comments about removing the Constitution. Correct. And Kevin says, Shep, what was your question? What do you think about Trump saying he wanted to get rid of the Constitution, which he did not say? Maureen says, Shep, I just looked it up. No evidence Trump ever said that. Christie said Trump said that and wouldn't give any context. That's Chris Christie that said that, right? So what you're doing is espousing hearsay from someone who had it in his interest to betray Trump. Not something he actually said or that you actually read. And that's the reason you can't provide the link, because you never saw it. So you don't have any idea where he said that at. You heard someone else say that he said that, and you believed it. And you should be ashamed of that. I was listening to a comedian today, and he said that he had met a guy that was influential, so he made friends with him. But what he didn't know was that guy was a fundamental Christian. And so they were sitting on a golf course one day talking, and the guy told him about being a Christian. And he says, oh, don't tell me about the Bible. I don't want to hear that nonsense. I'm an atheist. And so the guy asked him, he says, well, which part of the Bible do you think is not true? And the guy goes, I don't know. I haven't read it. He goes, oh, you're not an atheist. You're a moron. Because if you were an atheist, you would have studied the Bible and all the other religions in the world and have, over a long period of time and much reflective thought, come to the conclusion that God is not real. But you haven't done that. You've circumvented intellect entirely and just went with the consensus and believe there's no God. That makes you a moron, not an atheist. Same thing applies here, but with politics. Rand says, I imagine there are also plenty of Americans who are tired of failed democratic policies and want to change. Yes, sir, we certainly are. Shep says, Kevin, what are your thoughts on the Trump quote that I quoted, which is backed up by irrefutable empirical evidence, which you can't provide because it's hearsay? You're throwing around words like you're smart, but you're espousing hearsay. That's not what the word quote means. Amy says, voting for Harris? Follow me to the grocery store. You're buying. Amen. Maureen Flood says, I'm in that camp. Althor, Rand. I'm in that camp too, Rand. Mark Gibby, what's up, buddy? Long time no see. Do you have a truck with lots of tools following you to fix that Harley while you riding it? Yes. Yep. I have to work on that Harley twice a year. And got to do it now. Amanda says, hi, Mark. Kevin says, Shep, I went back through the chat and I see no question from you. Just you espousing nonsense. Amanda says, right, Amy. Mark says, good evening and keep the good fight going. I'm working on it, Mark. Did you vote yet? Maureen says, where is that evidence, Shep? All I could find is where Chris Christie said something that Trump said. Imagine that. Shep says, Kevin, okay, we're done now. We're done here. Well, if that's what you call done, then you have no idea how to build something or create something or finish something, because that's not done. That's you giving up because you can't prove what you're saying. Guess how many people in this chat of the 2,450 people that have watched this program think you won that debate? Guess how many? Aside from yourself, that is. Maureen says, I read that one. Shep says, I read that one. Maureen says, night, Mark. I think he was saying hello, but Amanda says, Trump is not going to mess with the Constitution. No, he's not. And Amy says, 74 Harley Sportster. That's a nice bike. Mark Gibby says, hello. Y'all keep the good fight going. Good versus evil. Trump, Trump, baby. Amen. Isme says, Jake, on Saturdays you have the most viewers. I know. I wish it was like that every night. And Amanda says, but Harris will definitely screw us all even more. And Maureen says, Shep, funny you haven't responded to my information on terminating. It is funny. It's because he doesn't want to believe that he's wrong. And if he looks in your direction, he might know that he's wrong. Buck says, heck yeah, 74 Harley Sportster is awesome. My dad raised me with a 63 Panhead. Panheads forever. Panheads forever. I'd like to have a Panhead. I'd like to have a 74 Harley Sportster. That's the year I was born. Kevin says, Shep, there's plenty of stuff that Trump said that I don't like or completely disagree with. But does that answer your question? Shep says, Maureen, as I said, I will not do research for you. I've been very clear. It's easy to find it. Find it. Well, if it's that easy, find it. Katie Merritt says, hi. Hi, Katie. Welcome. Amy Elizabeth says, civil is different than criminal. And on question 2, on the jury decision, is Mr. Trump guilty of rape? The jury unanimously said no. It's part of the court record because he didn't do that. He was found liable That's it. Amanda says, hi, Katie, welcome. And Maureen says, Shep, I did the research. And Katie says, hi. And Shep says, Kevin, cool. So calling for the termination of the Constitution is just a difference of opinion rather than a disqualification for president. Well, it's not illegal to say things. Even that. So you'd be right. It is just a difference of opinion. Because it's not a disqualifier to say that. It's not a disqualifier to say anything. Because we have that First Amendment thingy that says you have the freedom to speech and that the U.S. government shall not espouse your inalienable rights against you. Or something like that. Shut up. You're fat. Maureen says, hi, Katie. And Kevin says, Shep, do you think the 2020 election was a clean election? Katie says, hi, Jake. Hi, Katie. Amy says, he never said he was going to terminate the Constitution. Kevin says, Shep, saying something and doing something are two different things. Yes. And by the way, just for the record, Shep, I disagree with some things Trump says. Everybody isn't perfect. I don't even have to like Trump as a human being. You understand that? I don't have to like the guy for him to be an effective leader for the country that I live in. All he's got to do is keep the wars down and the money up. That's it. And he does that. So what is your problem? I know what your problem is. You're listening to nonsense. Drink the right Kool-Aid. It tastes better. And it'll possibly lead you to a future where you can buy your own house one day. Black Lab says Hunter Biden was the one that frauded the election. His laptop. Amy Elizabeth says, send money to the taxpayers. That's right. Shep says, Kevin, as clean as can be expected in the imperfect world. All the allegations of massive fraud have been disproven. Have they now? I don't think you're right about that. I think you're listening to MSDNC. I don't think you are even aware that the courts shot down the lawsuits on the merits without looking at the merits. And I don't think you know what that means. And I don't think that you understand that we're supposed to be a one-day voting system with paper ballots, and we're not doing that in most of the states, and that is not right. And also, I don't think you understand how mail-in ballots work and how many have been recently found and how many were fraudulent in nature or belonging to dead people or people that aren't from this place. I don't think you understand any of that. So, disproven? I don't think so. Maybe accepted, not disproven. There's too much evidence to the contrary for it to be disproven. We have accepted it, and we've moved on because there's already been 4 more years that have passed, and it doesn't matter now. Can't get it back. Actually, even having that argument is kind of silly because it's already over with. Shep says, Kevin, Jake's chat's about to jump. By the way, all you new people, hit that subscribe button. Show a little love. Like, subscribe, share, support, jump right on over there to that join button and press join if you want to be part of something special. Leave a super chat if you show the love, if you want to show love, if you like what you're hearing tonight. Also, there's paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand and CashApp, $JakeJohnsonBand. And I appreciate you dearly. On with the program, if I can find it. Good gracious, I'm not going to make it to the bottom of this chat. I can tell you that already. All right, I have got to go over there and see a man about a dog. So do me a favor and listen to this song while I retort. And I'll be right back. fireworks. People laugh, people flirt all night long. But I just stare. So I drove down to the local bar where people come in their fancy cars to play their games. But I just stare. Then I saw you sitting there, all alone in that empty chair right next to you. I fell in love, oh baby. You looked down and you took my hand. You said, boy, I hope you understand that I'm not a girl that needs a man. I got my life and all my plans, and if you were there, you'd just be in my way. And girl, it ain't gotta be like this. I'd give you everything with just one kiss, and I don't care what you say. I fell in love with you anyway. Oh, Elizabeth, you take my breath away. At that bar where we first met, you smiled at me and my palms got wet, and you just looked away. But I just stayed. You said, been in love and it never works. I always end up getting hurt, and I ain't doing that no more. There ain't no way. Oh no, 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 no. You stood up to say goodbye, grabbed your hand with a tear in my eye, and I just walked away. But you just stayed. But you looked down and you took my hand and said, boy, I hope you understand that I'm not a girl that needs a man. I got my life and all my plans, and if you were there, you'd just be in my way. Girl, it ain't gotta be like this. I'd give you everything but just one kiss, and I don't care what you say. I fell in love with you anyway. Oh, Elizabeth, you take my breath away. All right. That is an original song from me, yours truly. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to own that song, allow me to share it with you. It is yours All you have to do is go to this link that I'm putting in the chat right now. Go to that link and download it. I'll pin it to the top so you can have it. That is my album. Go listen to it. It's absolutely free. It's yours. Take it. Go download it. The only requirement, the only payment that you owe for that album is that you must share it with someone else. If you'll do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Share it. Get it out there. Put it on your channels. Do whatever you want to do with it. Just enjoy it. A lot of hard work went into that album. It's yours. Shep says, Kevin, as clean as can be expected in an imperfect world, all the allegations of massive fraud have been disproven, and I cannot, as a true patriot, vote for a man who even said that. Well, rest assured, he did not say that, so you're in good standing. Go vote. Katie says, I love Trump. I love Trump too, Katie. Monkey Juice says, it wasn't COVID tests, people. It was a personal ventilator machine given. To who? What are you talking about? Amy Elizabeth says, Putin endorsed Biden, and then he endorsed Harris. And you still call Trump the Putin puppet. Interesting. To Putin. Personal ventilator given to Putin. So, don't you think that you should share what you have with the rest of the world if there's a worldwide pandemic going on? Are you honestly saying that you would rather us keep it to ourselves and not let anybody else survive the pandemic? Kevin says, Shep, so you're going to vote for the person that called Americans stupid? Maureen says, and been working to destroy our Constitution? Amy says, there was no shortages of ventilators either. Medical ships sent to the harbor and no one used it. It wasn't that they couldn't use it, it's that the governor turned it away and would not use it. And there was a warehouse full of that stuff there too that he never opened, while he was putting people in nursing homes. That's why he is no longer the governor. Bucks Boogie says, tax cuts to the wealthy so they'll lower the prices of their products and we can also get jobs. Yeah, people don't seem to understand how trickle-down economics work. You see, the wealthy people are the ones who have everything. And if they get tax cuts, they're more free with their money. And it trickles down to the lower guys who spend more money because they have more money, and then people like me can actually make more than $9.98 in an evening's work. I'm all for cutting the taxes. Kevin says, Shep, you have every right to vote for whomever you want. Agreed. Monkey Juice says, but I would recommend you didn't. Monkey Juice says, the issue is there was a shortage of ventilators in America and Putin got one. You do know that the ventilators were killing people, right? And they quickly realized that and then stopped using them. So what you're saying is a moot point. You're just using anything you can find to make Trump look like a bad guy because he did a good thing. Turns out we didn't need ventilators. Nate, what's up, my brother? Long time no see. Good to see you, my friend. He says, hey, Jake, and hey, Untethered Live family. Good to see you all. I hope you guys have been doing good. And I have been at work, not being able to make all the shows, unfortunately. Well, you're here now, Nate, and God bless you. Good to see you, my friend. Amy says, there was never a shortage of ventilators. Correct. Amanda says, and Trump will bring back jobs to the United States of America so we make money, and he will drill, baby, drill. Amen. Shep says, Kevin, rather that than vote for the man who called late veterans losers and suckers. Well, that's not true either. Unfortunately, that's something that General Milley said because he hates Trump because Trump fired him, and it is not true. And there were 13 people in the room during that conversation, and all of them have said he did not say that. So, stop watching the news, Shep. You're getting misled big time, and it's making you look foolish, quite frankly. Amanda says, hi, Nate. Monkey Juice says, that's bullshit. There wasn't enough ventilators. Nobody needed ventilators, Monkey Juice. And no, there were not enough ventilators. There was an entire ship on the harbor of New York full of an entire hospital full of ventilators that was turned away. There was a warehouse on the ground in New York City full of ventilators. They never even opened the doors. We were not short of ventilators. That's the truth. Amy says, make America safe again. Close the border. Maureen says, if Trump was going to terminate the Constitution, he had 4 years to do it, and he didn't even come close. So that's a moot point also. Kevin says, Monkey Juice, Trump rushed production of ventilators. They were turning them out. We were never short of ventilators. But as I said earlier, it turns out we didn't need those things. That was actually causing people to die because when your lungs stop working, they stop trying. Worst thing you can do is get put on a ventilator. Amanda says Trump will finish the wall he started. If Kamala doesn't beat him to it, because she's espousing that now too, because apparently it's not racist to build a wall because they work. Amy says, sorry, an allergic reaction to bullshit. Amanda says, right, Amy? Buck says, it's been fun, everybody, but I have to go clean my bike and put her up for the night. Good night, Amanda, and all the rest. Buck, thank you for being here. Enjoy that bike, sir, and one day you and I are going to go have a ride together. One day. And Maureen says, nope, it was Killary. Amanda says, good night, Bucks. Have fun and make sure she don't get cold. And oh, by the way, keep the rubber side down. Buck says, of course, Amanda. I always take care of my girls. LOL. Nice. Monkey Juice says, masks on people now are people who had bad immune systems, cancer, and so forth. Not true. I see them all the time. They're perfectly healthy people. They just have no brain. My favorite one is the one with the mask on in the car with the windows up by itself. Hilarious. Amanda said, that's right. Thumbs up. Amy says, I mentioned that too. Right on. Maureen says, more like blackmail, Beyonce. I believe you're probably right about that. I believe she showed up to that event because she's on a videotape somewhere, if you know what I'm saying. And Amanda says, Monkey, what does a paper mask stop? Out of curiosity. Asking for a friend. Can you smell a fart when you're wearing a paper mask? Because if you can, gas particles are bigger than viral particles. That'll tell you something. Monkey Juice says, I've been paying $3 on average in Florida for the last 2 years. For what? Gasoline? It was $1.80 when Trump was in office. That's less than $3. I've been paying $4 up here. So, Shep says, Amanda, paper masks have been used for keeping viral infections at bay since long before COVID. Shep, you are certainly incorrect. Paper masks are to keep you from expelling droplets on a patient. It will not stop a viral infection that is airborne. That's not what it's built for. Read the fine print on the mask itself will tell you that. You're wrong. You can't keep a virus at bay with a mask. It doesn't even slow it down. What will slow it down is not getting droplets in the air, like if you cough. It's actually to protect people from you, not the other way around. But either way, it's not necessary anymore. And Amy says plexiglass is magical. Germs can't go around it. Right? Kevin says, Joe Rogan. Yeah, Joe Rogan. Monkey Juice says Trump has the white 18 to 30 male votes. Women hate him. Not true. There's a lot of women that love Trump. This room is full of them. Where's your math on that one, buddy? And I am neither 18 or 30. So, you're not winning that one. But nice try. Amanda says, paper masks don't stop dust. How in the hell is it going to stop an airborne virus? You breathe air through a mask. Come on now. Nate says, hey, Amanda. And Amy Elizabeth says, the CDC recently admitted they randomly picked a 6-foot social distancing without any scientific evidence to back it up. And that was the CDC that said that. Because it makes you feel better. It didn't actually do anything. It doesn't matter how far or close you are. If it's airborne, you're going to get it. Period. Everybody's getting COVID. There's no way around it. Sorry. Amanda says, and then you wear paper masks and you put on rubber gloves. Then you adjust your paper mask with your rubber gloves, putting the virus right on your face. Shaking my head. Idiots. My favorite thing is to, after you wore that paper mask for more than 5 minutes and there's a big wet spot right here, and you know what happens to particles when they touch wet spots. They just kind of accumulate right here where you're sucking air through the mask right there on that wet spot. You're actually making yourself sicker. Maureen says, I posted the link to the Rogan Trump show above. All right. Well, you guys go check out that Rogan Trump show link posted above. Did my chat jump again, or am I just missing it? Kevin says, Dr. Fauci started out, tell the truth about masks, and then moved as far as to say a cloth mask is effective. He'd never told the truth about masks. In fact, he was caught saying that the reason he told people not to wear masks is because he was afraid that the elites, would run out of them. Shep says, Amanda, the studies have been done on the efficacy of paper masks. You can go look at them. Well, unlike some people in this chat room, others of us have actually got an education and have actually done the studying and the looking and the research and all of that. So when we talk, we know what we're talking about. So you can't then say, trust the science. Amanda says, no, Maureen, you can't post a link in chat. Okay, so if you're going to post a link, you got to break it up because it won't let you post a link. Kevin says, Shep Lamau. Monkey Juice says, Harris is a gun owner. More lies. In a pig's eye, she's a gun owner. Like Tim Walz is a gun owner. Did you see that video with him with the guys that were actually hunters and his pristine, brand new hunting outfit and his pristine, brand new rifle that's never been fired that he couldn't figure out how to load, so they had to cut hard away from him while he was looking like a moron trying to load it while not shooting a bird? Yeah, come on. Lies. Neither one of them have ever shot a gun. How do I know that? Because I do. And I know how they work. Amanda says, rolling on the floor, Shep, you better go check that a little further because they come to the conclusion that paper masks do not work. Maureen says, but Shep, Amanda isn't here to do your research. LOL. Whoopsh. Amanda says, Harris said at her Trump-Harris speech that she was a gun owner. Well, I know she said that. That don't make it right. But she wants to take yours. Rules for me, rules for thee, but not for me. Maureen says, oops, sorry, Amanda. Amy says, Trump did make one mistake. Project Warp Speed. Millions are suffering adverse reactions to it, but he didn't mandate it. Well, I'm not sure that was a mistake as much as it was haste, because you got to understand, when this thing started, everybody was saying that it was a world ender. People were worried. People were legitimately scared that there were bodies piling up in the streets. I imagine he did whatever he could get done to get something done, and that was Project Warp Speed. It wasn't Trump that did that. He just opened the doors and allowed people to do their work. It was the Big Pharma that did that, but he allowed it to happen by relaxing EPA and all kinds of regulations and things like that and allowing them to actually get something done. So, you're right. Warp speed was not the best thing in the world, but it was something. He did something. And he should be praised for that because he acted. Turns out what they came up with wasn't a good thing. But there's also turns out that there was more to that too. So it might not have been his fault that it didn't turn out so well. Okay, Shep. I'm not lying to myself. I'm an actual grown man with actual intelligence. I don't need to lie to myself. I don't have anything to gain from lying to myself. I have asked you on a number of occasions to show me a link where he said that, and you haven't done so. So kiss my ass where it looks like a fig and stop spreading propaganda. And I'm not in a cult, buddy. Look at the name of this podcast. It's Untethered for a reason. Amy Elizabeth says, Operation Warp Speed. Yep. Yeah, that wasn't such a good thing. But, again, we were all in a panic, and anybody probably would have done the same thing. Amanda says, the CDC come to the conclusion that 6-foot thing didn't matter, and the masks didn't matter, and the gloves didn't matter, and the people were going to get sick regardless. If there is a national emergency and world war, they can postpone the election, says it's me. No, they cannot. It doesn't matter what's going on. There will be an election, and someone will be selected to be president, and that person will probably be in a bunker somewhere, but if that were the case, that's what would happen. There is no postponing the election. And by the way, don't listen to me. I'm not a doctor. This is all nonsense, and nobody here knows what we're talking about. None of us here have a degree or an education, so we're just rambling, YouTube. This is not medical misinformation. This is a conversation amongst idiots. Carry on, idiots. It's sad that I have to say that. Maureen says, and we will pray for you, Shep. Amen. Amy Elizabeth says, I'm ignoring a troll because I refuse to feed his addiction. I don't know why my nose is itching. Maureen says, I saw where Christie said Trump said it, but not anywhere where Trump actually said it. Well, that's the case for most of the things they accuse him of saying. It's usually by some anonymous source who heard it from a friend, from somebody who was in the room next to a pane of glass that overheard what they thought might be what Trump said. And it's never anybody that they can point to. Welcome to journalism, folks. Kevin says, I love trolls. Well done. And Amanda says, I will feed his bullshit until his stomach hurts. Well, while y'all are feeding... Feed Jake, now I lay me down to sleep. That's me. Pray the Lord, you know the guy talking? I've been a good doggy. If I die before I wake, this is my theme song. Feed Jake, my best friend. Kibbles and bits in the bowl, please. Feed Jake. Say it loud, say it proud. If I die before I wake, feed Jake. All right. How many people you know got one of those? Amy Elizabeth says, can I ask for a prayer request? Absolutely. For my friend Vicky. She traveled to Turkey for surgery and was a victim of a terrible crime while recovering. Father, we ask in your humble name that you watch over Vicky and all people who need your help, Father. We ask that your will be done in all things. We ask for your love, your grace, and your guidance through this tough time. And we ask that you keep our elections free and fair. In your Son, Jesus Christ's precious name, amen, and amen, and amen. I hope that helps. May Vicky recover. Muggy Juice says there is no way he can tear down the Constitution. Congress and Senate would not allow it. Well, that's the first thing you've said that I agree with, Muggy Juice. Why are so many people worried about what he said? He can't do that. That's not a thing a president can do. That's why we have co-equal branches of government, so that things like that don't happen. Like this whole dictator thing. Something he said was talking about something else, and they took it out of context and made it into something it wasn't. He can't be a dictator. The world isn't set up that way. It's not like we live in Russia. Amanda says, Trump will do nothing other than make America great again. I'm just saying. And Amanda says, oh no, Amy, prayers. And Maureen says, I'm praying for her, Amy. And Maureen says, there's a lot of people in chat, but only 6 likes. What's wrong with that, folks? Well, there's 18 likes, but there should be 2,703 likes. Why isn't there? Dana, hello, sweetheart. She says, I'm not going to vote for Kamala nor Trump. I am too far away and foreigner to the U.S. Greetings. Well, you're American in my heart, Dana. You're grandmothered in. You get to be part of the group by proxy. I'll take your vote. How are you, sweetie? You doing well? Amy Elizabeth says, share the quote in full context if and when you find it. Yeah, he's not going to because it never happened. All right, new people, tell us a little bit about yourself, non-politically speaking, of course. Who are you, where you're from, and what kind of things do you like? Introduce yourself to the family. And welcome to the show, by the way. I hope you guys are entertained. Amanda says, hi, Dana. Dana says, hi, Amanda Hart. And Amanda says, Trump never said it. He won't find it. Agreed. Monkey, oh, God, here we go. Monkey just says, after January 6th, I have some reservations about Trump and the Constitution. Like what? What about January 6th? Are you one of those that think that a bunch of old people that didn't have any guns tried to take over the country? Come on now. And were let in, by the way, to the house that they pay for with their taxes. You know there's video footage of all that, right? Go watch it. Amy says someone needs an intracranial rectal removal. Is that pulling your ass through your head? I'm with you. Muggy says January 6th will never go away. Ever. Well, not as long as you believe in fairy tales. No, it won't. Monkey Jew says, Mari says, Monkey, why? Trump did not incite anything that day. As a matter of fact, he said peacefully protest, non-violently protest. And they did. And Nancy Pelosi was standing there just waiting to pounce. And they did. And the only person that got hurt that day was Ashley Babbitt, who was unarmed and female. And not breaking the law. Amanda says, absolutely, Amy. With a corkscrew. Right on. You girls are vicious. I like it. Maureen says, Monkey, of course not. The Dems organized it with the FBI insiders and participants and have lied and flamed the false info for 3.5 years. Kevin says, oh, damn. Did we lose Shep? LOL. Probably. Can't keep my damn cigar lit. Oh, well. I guess you got to suck on it to keep it going. As with all things. Maverick says there were about 5 big lifted trucks that drove by my house with Trump flags all over the trucks. They could have been a lot less annoying. And Dana says, I think there will be a violent coup in the U.S. No Trump, no Kamala, but military and police state instead. I think that is a minute possibility. Hopefully it won't come to that. I hope that doesn't happen. But I do think that there are things in place that could make it happen if they wanted it to. Monkey Juice says, maybe, maybe not. But it took 20 minutes to say something. What do you mean? You mean Trump took him 20 minutes to respond to something he didn't know was happening and was told by way of Democrats that something was happening, and then he had to organize and get back out there in public as president of the United States and talk to a crowd and get everybody to point their cameras back at him? It only took 20 minutes, really? What did you think? He should jump out of the balcony and start yelling? Stop! Have you been to Washington? They wouldn't have heard him. Mark Gibby says, yes, I voted, and my 18-year-old son just voted for Trump for the first time. I'm a proud dad here. Well, you got proud friends here, Mark. God bless you. Rand says, poor Shep. Can't provide evidence. Can't cite sources. Clearly hates Trump. Maybe he works for CNN or MSDNC. Ha, 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 ha. Maybe. Maureen says, Dana, I fear the same, but in the end, God wins. Yes, we read at the back of the book. God does win. Good defense there, Maureen. I'm worried about it, too. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope we don't have mass hysteria the night of the election, which is less than 10 days away. So if you haven't voted, go vote. Go vote now. Go vote early. Go vote often. Just vote. Don't do that last thing. Amanda says, LOL, Kevin, you won. Kevin Bernard for the win. Amy Elizabeth says, COVID, J6, typical dwelling points for the Trump deranged. Ask the instigators from the left about J5 or J6. Ray Epps, Antifa dressed as MAGA. Heard it all. Don't care. Not after the billions in damages. I agree. Dana says military and police state absolute tyrannical dictatorship. And Maureen Flood, yes. I hope it don't come to that, Dana. I really don't. Amanda says can't find something that's not there. Right on. Mullet Kid, welcome. I like your name. The thing about Trump is, if he wins, Trumpet stocks will go up. So I'm investing in Trumpo stocks. That's probably smart there, Mullet Kid. I would recommend you invest diversely into many things, but definitely diverse in a sure win. Definitely invest in a sure win. Mark Gibby says, you don't have to like Trump, but my word, we were better off. And his policies were spot on. Bottom line, especially for the future of our kids, which is important. And if you have children, you understand why that's important. If you don't, some of you do, but some of you don't. Amanda says, hi, Mullet, welcome. Maverick says, if Kamala wins, the country is gone. I totally agree with that. Monkey says, Fox News paid $785 million in Dominion wrongful stolen election case. So, they shouldn't have had people on there espousing things that weren't true. It wasn't Trump that said the stuff that wasn't true. It was their anchors that said stuff that wasn't true. Amanda says, absolutely, Maverick. And Maureen says, I went to like your Facebook show and I can't find it. But it is facebook.com/UntetheredLive family. All one word. Untethered Live family. And there's a link somewhere in the chat to it. So you can just click the link and it'll take you right to it. But thank you, Maureen. Mullet Kid says, hi, Amanda. Are you going to invest in Trump stocks? We did. We voted. Amanda says, I'm not going to be able to buy a house. Not going to be able to buy a house is giving them away to all the illegals. Well, there's some truth in that. And here's the link right here to the Facebook page. Just click it and go. Facebook.com/UntetheredLive family. Maureen says, criminal invaders, not simply illegals. Right on. And Amanda says, there, Maureen, right up top. Maureen says, thank you. Amanda says, you're welcome. About time for my chat to jump again. Yep, it did. By the way, that link at the top of the chat is to my album. If you would like to hear my music and you'd like to own that album, go download it. It's yours for free. All you got to do is grab it and share it. There's that. You got to share it. My chat jumped again, and I don't know where I'm at. I found it. Amanda says, you're welcome, Maureen, and I'm all about Trump mullet. Amen. Maureen says, by the way, Florida looks like Trump's mullet. All you got to do is put a pair of sunglasses on it. It looks just like him. Don't believe me? Go look. Maureen says, I like the show and some shows, but didn't see tonight. Weird. Interesting. Amy Elizabeth says, watch Jace posts on Wimkin because Trump is very close to making that announcement. What announcement? I must have missed something. Watch Jace's posts on Wimkin. Yeah, by the way, we have a site over there on Wimkin. It's under Jake Johnson. So go by and check it out. Wimkin.com. Monkey Jew says, did you know Trump mailed in ballots when he was a Democrat? True story. So you're saying that Democrats do dumb things? I believe you. Maureen says, on Facebook. Kevin says, I'm all about Trump's policies, common sense. Amen, Kevin. Amanda says, it won't upload till after he's done tonight. This is true. Yeah, everywhere except for here is uploaded after this show. It's only live on YouTube. I got to work another hour after I get done here, getting everything up on all the other platforms. But you'll find it there if you'd like to. Maureen says, awesome, Amy. And Amanda says, Nate, are you ready? Let's go, says Nate. And Amanda says, oh, yeah, baby. And Maureen says, oh, okay, trying to help. Kevin says, am I the only one having buffering issues? I hope not. I mean, I hope so. I hope nobody's having buffering issues. Amy Elizabeth says, I always have buffering issues. Amy Elizabeth says, I'll beat you all to it. Nah. And Amanda says, I'd give you everything for just one kiss. And I fell in love with you anyway. Good song. Amanda says, Amy is a cheater. Nah. Amy says, he's suffocating because she took his breath away. She's ambitious, not cheating. Or he's ambitious and not cheating. No, I'm ambitious and not cheating. I'm not cheating. I just did it before you did. That's not a cheat. I agree. Kevin says, Jack got himself a cigar. Jake got himself a cigar. And his nose is itching for some reason. Probably because I'm talking and my mustache is vibrating against my nose. Amanda says, oh, no, Hart. Nate says, oh, no. And Amanda says, LOL, Nate. Nate says, damn. LOL. And Amanda says, LOL, Amy. I love this song, says Amy. Well, this song loves you too. And I'm glad you guys like it. I enjoy playing it and I enjoy writing it. Amanda says, one day you will get me, Nate, but not today. And Amanda says, I do too, Amy. Oh, yeah. Amy says, Elizabeth is a childless cat lady. Probably. Look, he says, back to Putin. Russia has been America's archenemy since World War II. Communist dictator, Ukraine, fighting for freedom. That's wrong all the way around. We've never had a problem with Russia until recently. Remember when Reagan said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall? That's when the USSR went away. And we've not had any issues with Russia since then. This is something Hillary Clinton pushed in her time as Secretary of State on into her run for presidency. And the Democrats want to go to war with Russia. That's why they're making all their inruns towards it. In my humble opinion, which is nonsense. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I smoke cigars. And Amanda says, LOL, Amy. And Monkey Jew says, stop Putin now, America, or pay later. Pay what? Putin has no interest in America. Silly boy. Kevin says, Monkey, are you here to promote World War II? 3? Amy says, Elizabeth is a kitty mom, alone with her 12 cats. That's not funny. I have 12 cats. I'm alone. I'm just kidding. Kevin says, Monkey, do you understand there will be no life left on Earth after WW3? I think that's presumptuous. Mark Gibby says, and I've never made money off a poor man. Always had a job and a place that I worked hard for a rich man, owned and paid me. Did anybody say you didn't? I've never made money off a poor man. I hope not. I always had a job at a place that a hard-working rich man owned and paid me. Excellent. Me too. Kevin says, Monkey, we are talking about 3 countries that each have enough nukes to destroy this planet many times over, if you believe in such things. Amanda says, Shep ran with his tail between his legs. And Kevin says, Shep was a mainstream media sheeple. Barrington Christian. Hey, Jake. That's true, Jake. Thank you, Barrington. Welcome to the show. Come on in, take your shoes off, set a spell, have a good time. Listen to the song. Smoke a cigar. Enjoy yourself. Amy says, I imagine Elizabeth is an HOA president telling people she'll ticket them for their grass being 1/8 of an inch too tall. She must be a Democrat. She must be. And he is insufferable, clearly. Amanda says, hi, Barrington, welcome. LOL, Amy. Monkey Jew says, so let Putin overrun Ukraine. I don't care what Putin does. I'm not in Russia. I don't know anybody in Russia. I don't care. It's not my problem. How about that? By the way, there were peace talks in writing, ready to be signed, and Joe Biden put a stop to it. Imagine that. You don't seem to even think about that. But that happened. Amanda says, Kevin, Shep is stuck on MSDNC and CNN. Kevin says, only Democrat walls work, LOL. Right? Apparently. Amy says, Mark Twain, quote, open your mouth and be proven a fool. Maureen says, Millie is deserter. He went to the back of a duly elected president. He went behind the back of a duly elected president to talk to the head of the Chinese military to promise him he'd give him a heads up if Trump decided to use the nuclear bomb. Yeah, that's a traitor. Yes, I agree. 100%. He should have been fired for that. He should have been arrested for that. Maureen says, and there was no evidence Trump was even leaning that way. True. Mike G says, something he shouldn't have said, apparently. Mike, behave yourself. This is a public place with nice people. We don't do that here. Mark says, come on, Mike. Not funny. Mark says, get his ass out of here, Amanda. Amy Elizabeth says, the numbers were off. Dr. Burks said, even if someone died with the CV-19, regardless of that was the cause, it was counted as a death. Even dying with. And from it. Yes, there's a lot of that going on. Amanda says, oh, I'm on it, Mark. And Maureen says, nope. The parents of one of my kids is paranoid because they lost someone, so now require their kids to wear one. My kids does not. But her brother is in general education and doesn't. LOL. Understood. Mike, that's your second warning. If you do it again, you're going to get kicked out of here, buddy. It's not going to fly and nobody's seeing your chats. So, Mark Gibby says, good job, Amanda. And Kevin says, Amy, they cooked the books from day one. None of this is true. It's all lies. We're all propagandists. It's not true. YouTube. Amy Elizabeth says, like the guy who had, you know what, when died from decapitation in an accident. Counted as one of those on CNN's ticker. Fear makes people easy to control. Amen. Amanda says, thanks, Mark. And Mark says, you're welcome. Amy Elizabeth says, plexiglass. I hated the arrows in the grocery store, right? The ones on the floor telling you where to stand. Ridiculous. How much money did that cost, I wonder, to put all those little stickers everywhere? Like people couldn't figure out that they were supposed to be on the floor. I don't think I'll stand on the ceiling. I don't see any arrows. Like anyone ever followed those, right? That was a complete waste of money. Democrats. Mark Gibby says, my doctor said wearing a mask is like throwing matches through a chain link fence. Exactly. Marbles. Throwing marbles. I agree. Kevin says, Shep, come back. Amanda says, exactly, Mark. And Maureen says, why is that man, Fraudchi, still in office and not in jail? The word Fauci comes from the word Faust, which is a derivative of a word meaning the devil. Interestingly, it also means jaw, the word Fauci. Mouthpiece of the devil, I think. Amy says, Kevin, he's trying to find evidence. He'll be quiet. Or he'll be a while. Kevin says, Lamaup. LOL, says Maureen. Monkey Juice says, if anyone has a better invention than the paper mask, I'm all ears. If not, don't complain. I have a better invention than the paper mask. It's called a hazmat suit, which is airtight and has its own oxygen supply. Right off the top of my head. Works. Or one of those rebreathers with the charcoal pouches on each end that filter the air as they come through. That's a better invention than a paper mask. How's your ears feeling there, Monkey Juice? A respirator. A rebreather. Not being in the vicinity. Maureen says, a respirator, Monkey. Kevin says, Monkey, high intensity ultraviolet light. Amy Elizabeth says, N95 mask is better than a paper mask. Amy said. Amanda says, yeah, Monkey, gas masks with oxygen so you can finish looking like a total moron. Monkey says, respirators stop COVID. You didn't ask what stopped COVID. You asked what was a better invention than a paper mask, and you were obliterated. Kevin says, Monkey, ultraviolet light kills all viruses and germs. Maureen says, Monkey, I had people freaking when I would not wear a mask. I have bad asthma. Turned severe when I tried to wear the stupid mask, and they were screaming as I literally could not breathe because they are cult members who bought into a narrative which had no scientific evidence to back it up, then or now. Amy says, can you stop the flu or the common cold? Nope. It's part of life. No stopping it. Agreed. Mark says, Kamala didn't say what model. She's full of crap. What model of what? Muggy Jew says, all masks apparently don't stop the bug, according to Jake. Nothing will. It's called an airborne virus. Everyone is getting it. There's no one that can avoid it. You will get it. It's going to be here forever, just like the flu is. That's what airborne viruses do. Wearing a mask only makes you feel better. The Motway, welcome. Who won the U.S. 2020 presidential election? Joe Biden. Did he win it honestly? Mark Gibby says, I'm done with flu shots too. You should be. They're giving you the flu. That's how you build up antibodies to the flu. Or you could just get the flu, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. Mark says, Trump. Amanda says, hi, Motway, welcome. Maureen says, same for me, Mark, because they added the C19er to it. Muggy Jew says, LOL, don't take your flu shot, Mark. Science is crazy. Yeah, don't take a flu shot. And yes, they did, says Mark. Rand says, Shep hasn't commented in a while. Maybe he has a breaking CNN news update to attend to. Maybe Trump sneezed and they need to send Shep to investigate whether he has cancer or something equally dumb. Amen. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Jamie. Eichenberger. Eichelberger. Welcome to the show. Anybody else want to follow in Jamie's footsteps and subscribe and help me build those numbers up a little bit? Muggy Jew says, Trump said don't take the flu shot. WTF. I said don't take the flu shot. I said it. You don't need a shot for the flu. You have an immune system. It works. When you get the flu, you build immunities to it. You build antibodies. The next time the flu comes around, you don't get it. Amanda says he ran with his tail tucked between his legs. Poor puppet puppy. Amy Elizabeth says, ran, smiley, smiley. Muggy Jew says, I'll never back down. I don't care. You stand your ground all you want, buddy. You can get jabbed in every orifice. It's not going to hurt my feelings at all. I'm going to be laughing at you while you're doing it, but whatever. Amy says, thanks for the prayers, Jake, and everybody. You're welcome. Monkey Jew says, where's Walter? Right? I don't know. Where is Walter? And Amanda says, probably driving home, Muggy. Probably. I think Linda's here. She spoke up a little while ago. Maureen says, and the Democrats are trying to get rid of the Supreme Court, but that has to go through Congress and President, not just President and the magic pen. Right. You can't executive order away the Congress. Amy Elizabeth says, quote unquote, I'll never back down, meaning that you're not open to new ideas and seeing someone else's side of that's actually backed by facts. Gotcha. Bill Bennett, what's up, buddy? He says, hey, guys, happy Saturday. Happy Politi-tics, Bill. Welcome to your show. Amanda says, hi, Bill. Amy Elizabeth says, Trump derangement syndrome is a mental illness. Trump derangement syndrome ain't a syndrome. Everybody's done went and lost their mind. From California all the way to Pennsylvania, they've all succumbed to Trump derangement mania. Hey! That's worth a tip right there. Come on now. Maureen says, PolitiFact says it found the termination statement. Pants on fire. LOL. Ha ha. PolitiFact said that. Liar, liar, pants on fire. It never happened, Shep. Bill says, hey, what's up, Bill? Amanda says, suck on it. LOL. That's what he said. Oh. It's me says, there's only one savior to heal this country, and it's God. Amen. It's me. I'm with you there. Mark says, I bet Kamala could keep that cigar lit. I bet you're right. Amanda says, LOL, Mark. Mark says, sorry, I had to say it. I'm with you. Maureen says, it's me, absolutely. And Amanda says, well, you're not wrong. Call her Hoover. Hoover. She's a Hoover. And a Hoover. Maureen says, it's his Secret Service didn't want to let him out. And his Secret Service didn't want to let him out. Bill says, look to the Lord. He is the only one that can fix this. I agree. Amy Liv says, he really far behind the jet. I'm getting there. Amanda says, absolutely, and we need someone who believes in God in the White House. Agreed. Patty says, I'll tell you the only video I remember is Nancy eating her designer ice cream at her beautiful home in San Francisco, displaying her, I think, millions and millions of dollars of freezer. It was so distasteful on her part. I agree. I can't see what number that is. Something $6,000, $6 million, whatever it is. There's $2 signs and a comma and a 6, so I'm not exactly sure what number that is, but a lot. Very expensive refrigerator. Maureen says, Amanda, seriously. And cackling Kamala has said she is on the other side. Amanda says, only 40 minutes, Amy. LOL, I'm watching timestamps. He might catch up, or he'll get aggravated when his chat jumps and just pick up where it jumps to. It's possible. So far, I'm almost at the bottom. Amanda says, right, Maureen. And Tony says, hey, Tony, welcome to the show. Tony Cole says, we don't believe you. Need more people. Huh? Who are you? What are you talking about? Of course I need more people. I need thousands more people. Come on. Hit that like button, everybody. There's 28 people, only 28 people in chat and only 20 likes. What you talking about, Mark? Amanda says, who you talking about, Tony? Maureen says, does Walls have stock in the voting machines? Probably. It's me says, I seen an Asian guy with a Facebook page named Jake Tethered. Interesting. Weird. Ton73Z28 says, let me know what conspiracy site you got your information from. Fox News, InfoWars, Prison Planet, Daily Grail, Blog Forbidden, Knowledge, Right Web, Conspiracy Planet. Well, you seem to know all of them. I don't know any of those names, so I don't know what you're talking about there, Ton. Amanda says, no conspiracies in here. And Amanda says, oh, Maureen, I only put the Bible study nights on the Facebook page. That's why you got confused. It's for Bible study. Amy Elizabeth says, conspiracy theories have a tendency to come true eventually. We have the difference between a conspiracy theory and a conspiracy fact is about 6 months of time, unfortunately. Amanda says, and Bible-related stuff on the Facebook page. Maureen says, Amanda, I figured, but it's okay, LOL. And Maureen says, I watch here just Thought I'd help there, too. Please do. And Amanda says, thank you, Maureen. Amy Elizabeth says, Jake uploads the show to Wimkin after it's done, too. Yes, I do. It's on all the platforms. Anywhere you can find a podcast, I'm there. Lurking somewhere in the background. There's also a Google page for Untethered Live. Yes, there is. And a Amazon and a Spotify and a iTunes and it's all over the place. Maureen says, back in the day, they'd say if your nose itches, have a fight or kiss a fool. So I'd kiss myself. But I was a kid, LOL. Well, I'd try to kiss myself, but I don't think my lips can reach my lips, if you know what I'm saying. Amanda says, when I clear some of my irons out, I'm going to make another Facebook page for the rest of the Untethered Live shows. That's entirely up to you. Kevin says, icons. Right on. Amy Elizabeth says, I'm going to bed. I'm tired of trying to connect. I'll watch silently in the background. Well, I love you, Amy. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. And I hope you feel better. And I hope that your day is wonderful tomorrow. See you on Sunday. Kevin says, good night, Amy. And Amanda says, good night, Amy. See you tomorrow. And Maureen says, good night, Amy. And Dana says, good night, Amy. Heart. Dana, how you doing? You ain't talking a whole lot. Mark Gibby says, I don't have social media. I can't stand Facebook. Please keep the YouTube going so I can stay with Untethered Live. Well, Mark Gibby, I'm not going anywhere, buddy. As long as they don't censor me into oblivion, I'll be right here. So you don't have to do the Facebook page. It's just a way for you to keep in touch with all of us personally. So you don't have to talk to us in the chat while I'm live. You can talk to us anytime you want to right there on that Facebook page. But it's not necessary. It's just if you want it. But as long as YouTube will allow me to talk, I'll be here. As long as I can feed myself, I'll be here. And thank you for staying with us. Maureen says, and Harris is totally on the same page with Biden on Ukraine and everything else for that matter. They even asked her, what would you do differently than the last 4 years? And she said, I can't think of anything. That should tell you all you need to know. Amanda said, the YouTube isn't going anywhere, Mark. And Mark says, good. Jordan Scott Mills. There's a name I hadn't seen in a few months. Good to see you, buddy. Howdy, guys. I just got off work on my way home. Good to see you, Jordan. Amanda says, I just made it available in other places to try to make the channel grow. Dana says, hi, Jordan. Jordan says, hey, Dana. Hiya. Amanda says, hi, Jordan. Mark Gibby says, I understand, Amanda. It's growing. Jordan says, hey, Amanda. Bill says, he was leading in 2022, and the Dems took the House and the Senate. Don't trust the polls. Go vote and take a friend. I agree, Bill. Jordan says, the whole COVID thing was a security theater, just like at the airport. It doesn't actually make you safe. It just makes you feel safe. Right on. Maureen says, now I know what happens to Wile E. Coyote when he stands on that arrow. LOL. Ha ha ha. Amanda says, LOL, Maureen. And George says, my favorite sign from that time was in a store in Guthrie, Oklahoma. An addendum on printer paper to a printed sign. The sign said, no masks allowed in the store. The addendum said, yes, even those masks. John H. says, it won't get in your ears. The bug. Yeah, it could. That's not usually how you catch an airborne virus, but I'm sure it's possible. Jordan says, presumably she didn't say what model of Glock, of which there are millions. Y'all, the gun that she had, I got you. Because she doesn't actually, I don't think. Amanda says, hey, everybody, like, subscribe, share, support. Join the channel if you want to support this show and see what happens. And also, super chat if you love Jake and you want to show a little bit of appreciation. And Also hit that Cash App, $JakeJohnsonBand. Or if you use PayPal, paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Thank you all. Thank you, Amanda. Maureen says, Jordan, I love it. And Dana says, a man tried to convince me that he was forced to take the jab. And I told him, don't tell me that you were forced to take the jab. You were forced to stand up for yourself. And you chose not to. Based. Amanda says, exactly, Dana. I didn't get the jab and never have or will have a flu shot. Same here. Dana says, Amanda. Thumbs up and smiley face. Mark says, I begged my daughter not to take the shot in 2020, and she started as an RN, and she felt like she'd get fired if she didn't. I hate she got the first one. I hope that it was not the one that was having side effects. Maureen says, Dana, I made a big mistake, but when I realized it, after finding out some of what's in it, I prayed to God to remove anything not of him from me or my body, and I fully believe he did. I hope so. Amanda says, that does suck, Mark. Mark says, it does. Amy says, my husband and son had severe adverse reactions to the shot. Don't tell anybody in the news that or on YouTube that. They don't like it when you say that, even though it's true. Amanda says, I know a lot of people who have, Amy. It's Me says it's 11:30. Time to crash. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Thank you, It's Me. God bless you. Thank you for being here. Amanda says, right, it's me. Monkey Juice says, ever try smoking a pipe, Jake? My old man loves it. Yes, sir. It may come to that. But right now I'm trying to suck this thing down and keep it lit. I do smoke a pipe occasionally. But most of the time I just puff on this vape. I'm trying to not smoke cigarettes so much. Amy Elizabeth says, click the 3 dots and click like. Thank you. Maureen says, Amy, yeah, I developed psoriasis and arthritis, but nothing since my prayer. Well, that's good. Amanda says, he does something, Monkey. He does sometimes, Monkey. He's cutting down on cigarettes. He's vaping now, too. John H. says, gonna say goodnight. Gonna say goodnight. Went Tommy Robinson rally today. I went to a Tommy Robinson rally today. Thousands coming. God bless you all. John, God bless you too, and keep supporting Tommy Robinson. He's a good dude. Good people. Amanda says, good night, John. And we'll see you next time, John. Thanks for being here. Dana says, Maureen Flood, God bless you. At least you are very honest. You have my respect. The quote-unquote man, on the other hand, was trying to convince me of his BS, hiding his cowardness. Yeah, anytime anybody ever offered me the jab, I always said, my body, my choice, and ran away. Maureen says, if they truly repent and ask for forgiveness and removal of that crap. I hope so. Oh, Maureen says, Dana, absolutely, I agree. But I think there is hope for those who love and serve God if they truly repent and ask forgiveness and removal of that crap. After it's up on Wimkin, I'll share it out, says Maureen. Facebook and Wimkin, my primary haunts. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate the support. Ayub Al-Ibrahim says, Allah is the greatest. The greatest what? And Amanda says, hi, Ayub. Welcome. Jordan says, I could see her actually owning a gun since she was in law enforcement, but she's probably one of those milk drinkers that keeps it locked up in a closet with half a single box of 20 rounds from 1997. If she owns a gun, that's exactly what it is. And she was a district attorney, not a cop. Dana says, Maureen Flood, heart. And Amanda says, she'd probably shoot herself in the foot. And I made it to the bottom of the chat. Look at that. Here I am. Not a minute too soon. It's only 11:46. Amanda says, woohoo, bottom of the chat, Star Trek time. I'm having withdrawals. Right? Well, it's been a very interesting conversation. 3,164 views. Yes. If nothing else, I'll make about 15 cents on the ads. That's excellent. Come on, 4,000. Maureen says, LOL. Jordan says, Lamau, good night, chat. Sleep well. And Amanda says, you go, Jake. And Kevin says, good night, Jake, and everyone in chat. By the way, all newcomers, join. Hit that subscribe button and come see us. Come stay with us. We have great conversations every night, 5 nights a week. We want you to be here. We want you to be part of this. So please do come in. I hope you all had a good time. I hope you enjoyed it. God bless each and every one of you. I love every one of you from the bottom of my heart. I do. It's true. All of you, even the ones I disagree with, even the ones I give a hard time. Come on back tomorrow night for some Bible study. We'll get serious. We'll do some serious talking then. But tonight, alas, I'm tired. And I got to go to bed. So I'm out of here. Have a great night. God bless you. Thank you for being here. I hope you all a great weekend. Nate says, good night, all. It's been a minute. Take care, boss man. Nate, God bless you, sir. Thank you for being here. Dana, you too. Heart's back at you. We may not have Jake all next week, says Amanda. That's correct. I'm going to take the week off because I got some things I need to do. So after tomorrow night, Sunday night, I'll do Sunday night, and then I'll see you next Sunday because I got stuff I got to get done. But I'm not going anywhere. I'll be back. I might do Monday night. I'm not sure. It depends on how much I get done Monday. So we'll see. All right. I'm out. I love you guys. God bless you all. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching.